go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the No Wins podcast. We got a lot of stuff. A lot of things happened. Potential fraud alert. Merton, I'm sure you'll get into that eventually. A lot of upsets, a lot of emotions. The Patriots won.
Interesting week.
Sure was. A lot to talk about. Who wants to start? What game stood out to you the most?
What? No, please clap.
Please clap.
It doesn't go through the mic anyway.
Yep, Mike's still not picking it up. That's good.
There's like a clapping sound effect on Discord, isn't there? Hold on. Clap. Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
Here we go. Wait, I have that one actually.
Here we go.
Oh man.
Podcast just upgraded like 10,000% now that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so what are we starting with?
What game stood out to you guys?
I have not watched a full game of football in years, so I couldn't tell you.
Merton, this was required. I even sent a message to everyone. I was like, "Hey, if you guys could keep some notes on the games, I would appreciate that." And you want to know why? Because it was Christmas, and I knew I wouldn't get to see every minute of every game.
I watched the games, got bored, stopped watching.
God.
I feel Merton's energy. I watched some of the Jags game, and then I was like, I hate it here.
Oh, that one. We can start with that one.
Both in game and out of game, and I just
You want us to start with the game?
Yeah,
let's start with the Commanders Jets game. I watched that one. I made sure to watch that one.
Yeah, what'd you think of that one?
It was exciting to see. I'm looking for a Jets comeback to get into the playoffs here.
Yeah, after they're mathematically eliminated.
I was just gonna ask, are they still is it still a mathematical possibility?
Nope, it hasn't been since they lost to Miami.
That's a shame.
30-0 loss.
A meteor could strike and the Dolphins could be eliminated.
True, they could kill every single team in the East so that we have to to be the ones.
A meteor striking Florida isn't gonna kill anyone. It's just gonna make us more powerful.
I was just about to say it's gonna make them stronger.
That is possible. That is true. But yeah, something could happen. Maybe the whole Dolphins roster gets like diarrhea or something. Wasn't there some virus in the Redskins locker room one year, and they what was it? I think it was like Tampa Bay refused to go in. Maybe it was the Falcons. It was one of those. I remember.
I don't remember that.
I think it was like a staph infection.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I definitely don't think it was the Falcons or Tampa Bay because I would recall those two things. But
it wasn't in there. I think it was in Washington. But the visiting team was like, "Ew, that's gross. We don't want staph infections. We're not going in there."
Ew, cooties.
Yeah, exactly.
We can
the
talk
AFC East is going to get hit by COVID-23, and then get back in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's gonna happen, and the Jets will be back in it by default.
And then, yeah, we would love to see that.
Oh yeah,
They'll
make a run.
What games were watched? Who watched what games?
You want to know what games I watched? I watched half of the Saints Rams game, the first half.
I watched a lot of that game.
I watched. Wait, did I? I think I watched Bills Chargers against my will. Yeah, I think I was there.
Were you tied up?
No, Sam streamed it. Didn't you stream that game?
I did, yeah.
So yeah, I watched it against my will. I watched Commanders Jets, Lions Vikings. A little bit of that, obviously. What else did I watch? I definitely didn't watch Cardinals Bears. Didn't want to get let down by Justin Fields receiver, so I just ignored it.
They actually caught some balls.
Yeah, I was gonna say they actually played pretty well.
I think that was the last game. Yeah, those are the last games. The Ravens 49ers, I didn't even stay awake long enough to make it to that game, so missed it.
Yeah, I was exhausted too. I went to sleep.
That was a good game.
It was.
I was proven right in that game.
I mean, I only picked my pick to strategically be against you, as I said, and our man can back me up because I messaged him like before the game had officially started. I was like, Merton's gonna pick Baltimore, and then you did.
So why did you think I was going to do that?
I felt well. One, you and I share the love and affection towards Lamar. That was the first reason. The second
Lamar for
reason,
MVP question mark?
probably, but we'll get into that. The second reason is you had no reason to doubt Baltimore, and you were pretty expressly against the supremacy of the 49ers. All of these combined to be reasons why I made an educated guess that you would pick Baltimore.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
With that
so-
said, though, we can circle back to your favorite game of the week in the Jets.
Indeed, that was the best game of the week.
Yeah, what were your takeaways from that game? What did you learn?
So for one, Jacoby Brissett, my bad, should play for a team. You know,
As a
not
starter?
the Commanders. Probably there's some bad starters in the league right now. Not going to name them. Also, once again, is another case of Robert Saleh should be gone.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, wow was right. I mean,
Wow.
They won.
They barely won, and they
Yeah.
actually had no reason to be that close.
Yeah, it should not have been that close for sure.
And giving up a lead like that to
Well, the offense pooped the bed.
To the Commanders.
Yeah.
The offense pooped the
The
bed.
off-
Yeah,
That's
and then the
not-
defense
that-
proceeded to poop the bed. Everyone pooped the bed.
They eliminated Sam
So
Howell.
who's in charge of the poop betting? Or the
Saleh. Saleh is. I mean, do we want to get into it? So
Why not?
Saleh is responsible for the bed pooping. This is true.
I've been saying for weeks though that this is a lot of the problems are his fault.
I do have issues. I've expressed the issues to you, but it wasn't on a podcast episode, so I'll reiterate them. His game management skills and some of the adjustments or lack thereof are kind of detrimental. His lack of desire or inability to plant pieces of the defense onto one specific player. Like, for example, Jalen Waddle was just allowed to do whatever he wanted in the Miami game because he refused to put sauce on him. We just
I've
kept the
seen-
zone going.
What week did I? What was the Bills Jets game?
The first one or the second one?
That was week 1.
Yeah, that was week 1.
I was saying since week 1 that you're supposed to have these, well, not multiple corners that can just man up on someone, but you have this quote unquote all pro cornerback Sauce Gardner.
What do you mean
And he-
all quote unquote? Hold
No,
on.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
You may, but what do you mean quote unquote?
Quote unquote all pro corner Sauce Gardner, right? But he's never following the wide receiver one. Why is this a thing? Like, what
Saleh
type of
claims
coaching
his
is this?
scheme doesn't work that way.
And this is why he should be gone.
Yeah, I don't like that, and
I mean, their wide receiver one didn't do anything. Also,
I will point out though, as
Hey,
I've now pulled
hold
up for
on.
the stream, okay, go ahead.
Can I respond to
the
what
podcast.
Jordan
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
He didn't do anything that game because Josh Allen is incompetent at throwing him the ball. So
Oh no, I'm talking about the Commanders.
Oh, we went back to week 1, Bills versus Jets there.
No, I know, but I was
But,
just making the comment that keep going.
But
going.
so yeah, like your cornerback one doesn't travel with wide receiver one. That's a thing that's weird. Like, I don't care what the scheme is. If you put your best player on their best player,
I agree with you.
Keep him from getting hot.
I will
'Cause-
also say the quote unquote all pro. It's a little disrespectful though, since Sauce has only allowed 18 catches for 150 yards and 0 touchdowns since week 3.
Why are Jets fans always offended by?
Because we have so little to look forward to, disrespects on the few things that are good are intolerable.
I think I should I should have more intolerance towards what's going on with me here. My team is done for. All right.
What
Which
team is
which
that
team?
exactly?
Which team is that this week?
I'm glad we all had the same question.
What do you mean? I've always had the same
Is it the
team.
Chargers? They got eliminated this
The
week.
Chiefs.
It was.
They didn't
I've
look
never
great.
been a Chargers fan.
I did see a good chunk of the Chiefs game.
I saw some of that. Tell me about your pain, Merton. Go ahead.
Uh, everyone should be fired for letting Eric Bieniemy go. Everyone should also be fired for the fact that there is still not good receivers on the Chiefs. And like I said, Travis Kelce doesn't do anything.
We're back to him being washed.
Except
He
throwing his
doesn't.
helmet.
He doesn't do anything for us. Oh my
He
god.
dates Taylor Swift.
He can throw a mean helmet.
He's just there for distractions at this point. Everyone is just thinking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift instead of the fact that we have no one with hands on the team.
Mahomes didn't look too good though.
Our best running back was Patrick Mahomes.
Every time they panned to Mahomes and his face, it looked like he was on the verge of breaking down.
He looked like he was just his head was not in this game.
Yeah.
I
like,
He looked like he wanted to murder his receiving corps.
That is O line.
that pick
True.
that pick that he threw straight to the Raiders defender was just ugly.
Where he looks right in his eyes as he
Yeah.
does it.
Like that was too easy.
That's what happens when your receivers give you a mental breakdown. You just have very bad games.
Yeah, I mean it seems to be taking its mental toll on Mahomes at this point. Like it was one thing when Kadarius Toney was just dropping everything that came his way, but now it seems to have gotten in Mahomes' head, and he's like, "Oh well, I can't throw to these idiots. They don't catch anything." So now he's making poor decisions.
Absolutely. And even outside of throwing the ball, he's making stupid mistakes like that fumble that they had. That was bad.
Also true.
Speaking of poor decisions.
It doesn't help that Tyreek Hill tweets every single time the Chiefs struggle.
True.
When he had, I'm not gonna say anything, but
How much was he tweeting last year, though? He had a lot of time in February and January to do that.
I don't think anyone was following his tweets last year, considering the Chiefs were winning anyway.
Exactly. He
All
wasn't
right.
the secret sauce, just like receivers with hands were the sauce.
Telling you, we need that straight up. All right, so moving on. What's next?
Patrick said something about tragedies.
Tragedies, poor decisions. Starting Trevor Lawerence after coming back from a concussion. Yes, he was cleared. Cleared does not mean fit to play, especially going up against a just resurging Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense and just team all around. And then, so 2 weeks ago he had hurt ankle. Last week it was a concussion, and then in this game he hurts his shoulder. I think and now he's questionable to play against Carolina. I say even if he's cleared, rest him anyway. Let CJ. CJ's been getting most of the first team snaps in practice. Let CJ Beathard start.
What's your division record?
Division record, I think it's 4-1. We've only lost. The Jags have only lost one game in the division.
It was to the Texans, right?
That was to the Texans in week 2 or 3. I believe.
Well, Well, obviously it's the Panthers. Trevor Lawrence needs to sit that game.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
why not? That's a good game to just get healthy.
Exactly. It's a good game to get healthy. And even if it weren't the Panthers, I would say like you don't want to, your so-called superstar quarterback to get killed when he
Eh,
has such a future, such a bright future ahead of him.
Actually, if you guys aren't careful, you guys might lose to the Panthers.
losing to the Panthers is
The
fine.
Green
Well,
Bay game
well,
was a
now that-
mirage. We can talk about that though.
So you
Hold on,
put
hold
up
on.
30 on Green Bay. I mean,
They did,
Uh,
but there's a
losing
reason.
losing to the Panthers will be a morale dump, but
That would be suicide.
Well,
but
the Jags'
it
morale is
is
already
I was
seems
just
very
about to
low.
say, yeah.
Like
On
I don't know,
the
I don't know whose locker room is in a worse position right now, the Chiefs or the Jags.
New York Jets.
I mean, I think it's
Actually,
the
apparently they're all
Chiefs.
happy there somehow
Pick-
still.
Pick
I
one
think
of the
it's the
three.
Chiefs. I think Mahomes is not ready to off himself with his receivers, so I think it's the Chiefs.
It might be.
Yeah, it might
But
be. Trevor's too concussed to cry.
On
I
the
think if
inverse
y'all
side,
could
though,
just get healthy for the Titans game, win that game, you win the division.
that one's important.
Work for the playoffs.
I agree
The
with that.
But on the
Panthers
inverse
game
end,
is inconsequential.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
What a rising star that
Dude's
Baker
been-
Mayfield is.
Dude's been baking.
I've been a Baker Mayfield believer since before he even joined the Panthers. So
When he was taking the Browns to the playoffs for the first time in however many years that was.
yeah,
Respectable. I mean, we'll get to the Browns, but every week that goes by, them alienating themselves to Baker and trading for Deshaun Watson becomes worse and worse every single week.
Does it though?
Yes. They're being led by Joe Flacco right now.
Yeah,
And
but
they look fine. Yeah, exactly. Deshaun Watson has no impact on what they're doing. They could have done that with Baker.
You're absolutely right.
it would have been cheaper.
But they owe
you don't get
Deshaun
away with
Watson
that with
so
Baker,
much
though.
money.
It would have been cheaper, and they would have won more games if they just kept.
Yeah,
healthy
exactly.
Baker.
Exactly.
But I don't. Baker definitely affects the locker room different.
True.
Than,
Flacco's a very strong presence.
I mean,
Veteran
by no
mind.
means is Deshaun Watson a better QB. So it's not like I think that he would be better, like a better fit for the Browns even. But I just feel like maybe they just needed to move away from Baker as a whole. Probably
Deshaun Watson isn't exactly a man of character, though.
But I mean, even if it's his reputation isn't any better, it's different, and his play style is different. And I think for Baker, it was probably best that he got away from the fucking soul-sucking Browns.
I mean, being on the Buccaneers seems to be helping. They've won 4 in a row now?
Yeah, the Bucs look good.
Buccaneers love him.
Yeah. They might have saved Todd Bowles his whole life.
Unluckily, they like him too much because the Buccaneers were getting rid of Devin White until Baker started balling.
I mean, when you're winning, you don't sell.
Devin White needs to be sold.
No, you're winning. Don't sell.
He was only good his rookie season. He won a Super Bowl too fast.
Oh, well, sometimes it happens. It hasn't been too much of an impact. White and Godwin, or not White, Godwin and Evans, I mean, have been more than impactful and enough.
Oh, absolutely.
They've carried the offense. Evans routinely and continuously gets his touches. And what did he have? I know he had 1 touchdown that game. Did he have more than 1? Yeah, he had 2.
I mean, what type of 6'5" receiver wouldn't get their touches? If he doesn't get the ball, something's wrong.
You got to throw it to him, though. I mean, that takes decision making, at least at some level.
You could just toss Mike Evans a jump ball every time, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's a strong asset to have. That is for sure true.
Absolutely.
But I mean that's the situation. Baker is the kind of quarterback you want to have with that, though. I mean he has a very strong arm, and he's able to get those jump balls to him. I'd say they're very complementary to one another.
You know, as I'm gonna bring his name back up, Justin Fields fan. I would be unhappy if he was on the Bucks in replacing Baker Mayfield because
If I was a Bucks fan, I'd be mad too.
Yeah,
okay, all
Yeah,
right.
agreed.
I think
Alright.
Baker Mayfield has the job for at least another year. Assuming they don't like implode down the stretch here and they do make it to the playoffs, they could get a soft target. They could get like the Seahawks or the Rams, someone they could like at least stand with. And I think this team, for the most part, like maybe minus a few players, like they might not re-sign Mike Evans, and then this team implodes. But until then, like I think it'll be fine. Although I think Evans has prior said that he wants to be a Buck for his whole career. So he might take like a sweetheart deal.
When did he say that?
They
It
better
was
pay that man.
just like 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
Well,
But I think he's further said that more recently too.
he is a free agent after this season, so
He
we'll see
is.
where he goes.
He's going to the Giants.
Hopefully, he goes to the Chiefs.
Hopefully he goes to the Jets.
Okay.
Hopefully he goes to the Jags.
Yep.
Right.
I figured that's what would happen.
He does not need to go to the Jags.
That'd be
Of all the
interesting.
teams, the Jags need him the least.
I think it would be interesting on the Jags.
Oh no, it would be.
Wouldn't
That
have to
would be-
move
that would
very
be
far.
Fucking great for them.
No state income tax, Mike.
He still has no
So he has
income
no
tax.
state-
He's already in
Yeah,
Florida.
I know he wants
Yeah,
to
he
stay
can
with no
maintain
state
it.
income tax.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
on the same level, he could just stay with the Bucks. I don't know. I like the Bucks. I
True.
think they're kind of scrappy. But
Yeah.
we can go to the Bears now because Merton said Justin Fields. Merton, plead your case about Justin Fields.
He's a very underrated player in the league. He is a quote unquote game changer.
Mmm.
Now, do
Game
you
changer.
believe that?
Yes,
Not a manager.
he's a game changer. Definitely not a manager. If he had better players around him, they'd have won a few of the games that they lost. Like the Justin Fields beat the Lions, who are frauds, who I've been saying are frauds. Because ever since I saw them getting overrated by Stephen A. Smith, I knew it was already over. But yeah. So the Lions wouldn't be sitting so pretty right now if they would have taken that loss to the Bears that they should have taken. What was? Let me see these games. Let me.
Here, I got you. Give me 1 second.
So the Bears would have swept the Lions this season. The November 19th game that they lost was by a dropped pass from a receiver. What do you know? Uh, could have swept the Vikings. I can't remember exactly what happened in that game. I think he got hurt. Did he get hurt that game?
Maybe. I think that might have been the game.
Might have been the game he got hurt. So that was a close game. Oof. This Chargers game is
Nice
crazy.
12-10 heater on the second one.
12-10. Oh
Yeah,
the
that's
second.
what they won by 12-10.
What a thrilling game.
Oh yeah, the
Josh
action was
Dobbs,
coming out.
Oh
4
man.
interceptions. Love to see it.
4
All the
interceptions
Josh.
and you win by 2.
Hey, it is what it is. We take what we can
My
get. The Vikings
I
have a good defense, by the way.
yeah, they're not bad, but at the same time, 12-10.
I mean, they're one of the better scoring defenses in the league. Beat by only the 49ers, the Cowboys, the somehow the Bills, and the Chiefs and the Ravens. They're the only teams above them in scoring defense. And some of those defenses are stacked. So, uh, what's this? The Browns game? Isn't that the one where before halftime, the tight end dropped the pass?
Yeah, maybe. I think.
Isn't that the one you wanted me to send you the clip of?
Yes, yes, it was. Was that before halftime though? I thought it was at some crucial drive.
It was something crucial that should have led to another touchdown, but it is what it. What is this? Max
I think
Crosby.
Joe Flacco found his man this game. I think he may have found the guy he wants to throw the ball to a lot now.
I mean, he likes to throw the ball to the defense as well, so we'll see.
True, but
He's looking
he
like
did
Jameis,
throw for 368 yards
looking like
Flacco's an elite
Jameis
quarterback.
Winston.
with 3 touchdowns.
Well, he only looks like that until he gets to the playoffs. Then he turns into Supreme Joe Flacco. Doesn't throw a pick.
Joe Flacco X.
Is that better or
Exactly.
worse than elite QB Joe Flacco?
It's better. He doesn't throw any picks. He just throws touchdowns.
Just dimes.
We'll
Exactly.
see. The Browns are stacked. If
The
he's
Browns are
still the
gonna win the
quarterback,
division.
if he's still the quarterback come playoff time and they don't win the Super Bowl, then elite quarterback Joe Flacco is a myth.
That's a heavy burden to place on elite quarterback Joe Flacco. But turning back to elite quarterback Justin Fields now, I will say I've seen some progress from Justin Fields. I have his stats pulled up here. There are games where he has an 80% completion ratio, and with those receivers that he has, that's pretty impressive.
It is.
On the
Only consistent
same
target
side,
is
though,
DJ Moore.
yes. On the same end of that, though, in the Cleveland game, he had 47.5% completion. Now, his receivers weren't helping him, but at some level, you got to sort of look at it. When you're sporadically going in between 80 and 40, and it's somewhere in between those for a lot of those, there's 80, 51, 60, 69, 73, 57, 47, 55. The same issue that I've long since had with Justin Fields is he's not accurate. He can throw it pretty hard down the field, and he can run really well.
Was that QBR you mentioned?
That's
Or
completion.
So what
Completion
is
percentage.
Yeah.
what is every quarterback's completion percentage against the top 3 defense Browns?
This is the point that I was going to give him. Give me 1 second here. It is the Browns, and that is difficult, and he does have some sample sizes that are better, and I think his completion overall has improved this year. I just don't know if he'll make it in Chicago, is where I was going to end that point. I don't know that Chicago's GM is going to sit on that first overall pick and say, you know what, we've been here a bunch of times, because even if they didn't have the first from the Panthers, they'd be picking, what, 4th, 5th right now?
No. It was like 6.
8th now. They've moved down. But, I mean, that's
Yeah,
still a top 10 pick.
every time they when that pick goes down.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So
But with that said, I don't know how you can maintain the confidence in that guy and say, you know what, like this generational talent that Caleb Williams is supposed to be, do we really want to move off of him? Or not pick him, I should say.
the only way I see Caleb Williams being as an immediate impact player that will win them more games is if they, at the same time, fix their coaching problems. And somehow sign one of the big name receivers that are going to be in the free agency after this season. T. Higgins, Mike Evans. Who else was going to be in there? Can't remember all off the top of my head.
There are a couple. Someone could get that really quick. While I pose a question to you, Merton. So, how, I guess, will you justify explaining it to, I guess, the locker room and everyone else? Like, how do you have the win percentage? Although they could finish with higher than 6-9, obviously. Not a beautiful win percentage. How are you going to justify keeping all of this together? Or do you think the best thing for Justin Fields would be to change coaching and roll with him?
Correction, not T. Higgins, even though that's weird because I've heard his name a lot this season about not being on the Bengals
Is it
anymore.
Jamar Chase?
No, it's definitely not Jamar Chase. It's
there is
Tyler
a Bengals
Boyd.
receiver. No, there's a Bengals receiver who's up.
I just said Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd.
I don't think it's him. Hold on.
I'm looking at it. It's Tyler Boyd.
I believe you, but I could have sworn.
It's both of them.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Okay, so it's both of them. Never mind. So I was.
There's a lot of decent receivers that are going to be.
I hear Calvin Ridley shows up sometimes. Half one hand Marcus Brown, or Marquise Brown, or
Hollywood Brown.
Or Hollywood Brown. McCole Hardman, who I don't think will get another contract after this season because no one is using him.
Michael Pittman Jr.
What's up with the Chiefs and not using him? Like, the Jets wouldn't use him either. There's something wrong with him.
There is something.
Like, you can give Justin Fields Odell. Get him Odell, and he'll be fine.
Didn't Odell say he was going to retire after this?
Well,
when did he say this?
Maybe he just enjoys the sound of playing with Justin Fields so much that he decides not to retire.
Aren't you supposed to be showing something?
I am. Well, not to you, but I am to the people.
Oh.
To the people.
Yeah. Keep that going. I'll find the retirement quote.
Okay. But yeah, so if they were going to move on for Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams, they'd have to snag T. Higgins or Mike Evans from free agency. Fix up that offensive line because it's terrible half the time. Find a more consistent run game without the use of the quarterback. So maybe snag. It'd be kind of crazy if they could do it, but maybe snag Saquon Barkley out of free agency since he'll be there.
He will indeed.
I don't think they'll tag him again.
I don't think they can.
Can't they?
He's a.
I don't know if he can.
Well, technically, they didn't tag him before.
True.
They gave him a contract. I mean, it was only like $1 million more than the tag, but they didn't tag him. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. So they definitely could. But I don't know what. The Giants are a whole nother story.
I mean, we'll get to them. Don't you worry. I want to hear all about it. But I have found there was a interview that Odell did, and he spoke about his potentially retiring after this season.
Potentially, unless he gets to play with Justin Fields.
Yes, that's it. That's what he said there. It
says it right.
Very small font.
Yes,
but he did it with The Athletic. And he talked about how he's going to give it all this year, and if something happens after that, we can go from there. But I'm thinking this is going to be my last year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, probably for the best if he retires.
Yeah. He's having a great year with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean he's coming back. He's been making plays every week. He looks like he's getting better. I mean,
He's
is he
actually
Giants
getting
Odell? No, but he doesn't have to be.
He has less receptions than George Pickens and less yards than Devontae Adams and 3 total touchdowns this season.
Is he the wide receiver one?
I think he is.
He is not. I
Zay
don't
Flowers
believe so.
is.
Yeah.
He's not.
Who is?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers is a rookie though. They gave him wide receiver 1 this
Yeah,
season.
and Odell's
Yeah.
a 31-year-old injury-prone wide receiver.
Jordan would know that better than anyone.
Yeah, but he won a Super Bowl.
No, he didn't. Oh, right, the Rams.
Whoa.
Duh.
He did.
I forgot about that.
Did he get injured on the Rams too?
Yeah, but he had enough impact. Like he was
He
instrumental
carried
in
the
a
first
touchdown
half.
drive. Yeah, he did. Like he earned that. It's his. I was thinking about the Giants. I was like, he wasn't on any of those Super Bowl teams.
Would have been great if he was.
True. He could have had the helmet catch.
He wouldn't have needed to use his helmet. He would have just grabbed it with one hand.
True.
Yeah, I'm looking at the depth chart. Odell is wide receiver 1. Zay
But are they
Flowers is
using
2.
him like he is?
Not at all. He does not get that many targets.
I
Right.
think Odell is just not good enough to be getting used more right now. I think the injuries caught up to him.
I mean, yeah, he's a wide receiver too
Right,
at best.
which is why he's not wide receiver 1.
Right. Like versus San Francisco, he had 3 targets for 2 receptions, 13 yards. Versus Jacksonville, he had 3 targets, 1 reception, 14 yards. Oh, this is a big one here. Versus the Rams, 10 targets, 4 receptions, 97 yards. He's used like a wide receiver too, because that's what he is.
He rarely gets open. Whatever.
Yeah, not getting separation is a very wide receiver 2 thing to do.
It's not about their current ability. It's about what they build as.
I mean, things change in the season. Zay Flowers, however, against San Francisco, 13 targets, 9 yards. Sorry, not 9 yards. That would be terrible. 9 receptions, 72 yards. Versus Jacksonville, low day, 2 targets, 1, 7 yards. Way to go, Patrick. Versus the Rams,
Thanks.
10 targets, 6 receptions, 60 yards. Like he's getting more targets and more receptions.
Yeah, I think as the season goes on, he's getting a lot more confidence. I think not Odell. Lamar has a lot more confidence in him.
Yeah. Zay Flowers' issue is that he drops the ball.
Yeah. Luckily, Lamar's used to that.
True.
So he's got some patience for him.
Zay Flowers is still a step up from the garbage receiver room that used to exist there.
So, as of right now, extending on the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 talks. Who is
Yes.
wide receiver 1 for the Rams?
Cooper Kupp.
He's got less targets.
He's still the one though. Like they spread it. To Stafford's credit, they spread it around a lot between Nakua and Cooper Kupp, but
He's got a lot less targets. I mean, he played less games, but
yes, he has played less games.
Also, he draws more attention from the defense.
At this point, with all the drops I was watching Cooper have, and how much he's getting hurt, Puka is the bigger threat.
I don't know about right now. He could evolve into the bigger threat. Like Puka Nakua is not bad.
Puka has 156 targets, 96 receptions, 1,300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he's hard to take down in one-on-one.
He's having a very good year. He definitely started as the wide receiver 1 when Cooper Kupp was injured.
He has 65.8% catch percentage to Cooper's 61%. Cook is just dogging out right now. Who should be favored for Rookie of the Year? Well, no, actually not.
No, there's another guy out there. He hasn't played in a couple of weeks, but I think he's got that one locked up.
They could split the award like they sometimes do, where one gets offensive. What is that word called again? He could get Damn, CJ might get Rookie of the Year.
Yes. He was a serious MVP candidate at some points of the season.
Lucas should get something. It's not fair.
He should get something.
He should, but he probably won't.
He
But you
gets
know
a
what? He has
good
more
try
years.
trophy.
Matthew Stafford. I don't know if I posted it, but Matthew Stafford likes to spread the ball around. He's definitely helped guys get big deals.
And he still looks pretty good.
Yeah, stat you Pafford.
In my opinion, Stafford likes to target a specific person more often than not. Like he did it with Megatron. He did it with Cup.
Well,
Calvin
Megatron is an
Johnson,
exception.
yeah.
Yeah, Megatron will catch anything thrown in a 10-yard radius of him.
I mean, Stafford shortened his career. Let's be honest here. But like if there's I don't know how to say this. He throws the ball a lot. Let's just say that.
He does throw the ball a lot. That's why I called him Stat You Patford. He likes to pat his stats. Some people call him Derek Carr. Just, with a little bit less talent.
Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Let's not disrespect him like that.
Sure, but if you put Derek Carr on that Rams team, he might win a Super Bowl too.
I don't know about that.
I mean, like, if if Cooper Kupp doesn't get caught speeding down a highway, as is the Derek Carr effect on people, I think it might be okay.
You said, oh, okay. I think I understood why you said it that way.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr has lower lows, but overall, they're just as good.
His season is fascinating this year.
I think Derek Carr would have retired Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham sooner.
I think they would have retired themselves after going insane. Something's up with Derek Carr and his effect on receivers.
Because Derek Carr has almost killed Chris Olave multiple times.
I believe it. He's straight up not having a good time.
Yeah, Derek Carr throws some hospital balls.
So I'm looking at the NFL award odds, and I believe it's understandable why he's first, but I believe DeMeco Ryan should get NFL Coach of the Year this year. The person who's first is Dan Campbell.
I like Harbaugh.
Ooh.
I like Harbaugh as well.
I mean, all three of those are good, though.
DeMeco Ryan is the rookie coach with a rookie quarterback who throws the ball mostly to his rookie receiver. And they have a defensive rookie of the year candidate with Will Anderson Jr. And they're all just playing really well together. It's only Will Anderson Jr. and
isn't Tank Dell out for the rest of the year, and isn't Will Anderson also hurt?
I don't think Tank Dell's out for the rest of the year.
He is.
Is he?
Yes. That dumb run straight up at the defense Hall got him murdered. With that said, though, I like Harbaugh as coach of the year. He clearly has a more talented team, but I think the ability to coach very different Ravens teams and still be the head coach speaks a lot to his coaching acumen. Like Joe Flacco's Ravens and Lamar Jackson's Ravens are completely different teams, and yet they're winning.
I want you to know that he's nowhere on here for the odds.
I mean, the
That's
only thing
insane
I'll
to me.
say is the similarities between the teams is both defenses are absolutely fantastic.
They are.
And that does help a lot.
But he coaches guys to win, and I think it's a massive crime that he's not anywhere on that. I think he should be. We need more followers so he can influence the media.
I mean, part of
True.
his success is that he lucked out in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes.
Sure, but he was ahead of the team that picked him.
And I think it took him 2 drafts to pick him. Let me see. 2018.
I thought he was in the first
not 2
round.
drafts. Lamar Jackson was the last pick of the first round.
Right, they traded with a team to get him, but they traded with the
Yeah.
explicit desire to get him.
Yeah, but they already had a pick, and they picked Hayden Hurst, who's no longer on their team.
Well, they had Joe Flacco still.
Yeah, but they drafted Hayden Hurst and then decided to trade for the last pick in the draft to get Lamar Jackson. So
Yeah, he
they
was still
could've
there.
just-
Last
They
pick in the first round, not last pick in the draft.
right, he's not Brock Purdy.
You know what the Baltimore Ravens could have had if they just
Sam
went with Lamar
Darnold.
Jackson. Okay, if they went with Lamar Jackson with their first pick in the draft, they could have then came back and drafted Nick Chubb and had Lamar and Nick Chubb on the field at the same time.
I mean, that is the one thing they need.
Nick Chubb
They
was
ha-
coming off of an injury, though, wasn't he?
He was.
Nick Chubb was second round pick, 35th overall.
Yeah.
So he was the 4th running back taken.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I as much as it would make sense with our hindsight, I definitely think that's a risky pick to make in the first round. At the time, anyway. Like, if we didn't know what we know.
In comparison to taking a running back 2nd overall and picking a running back last in the first round, I think taking a flyer on Nick Chubb last in the first round is not as bad as taking a running back 2nd overall and then
Nah.
doing nothing with him.
I mean, it would age well. But at the same time, like, I completely understand why the front office didn't do it, is more what I'm saying. Like, there are reasons not to.
I think the Ravens gave up on the dual tight end situation they had a little bit too quickly.
Likely is a tight end, right?
Yeah. Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
They're now that their star tight end has gone down, they've been using him a lot.
It's been
Could've
A
working
lot of
for him.
success. Yeah.
Should have
He's
been
used
using
fit it
him
pretty well.
like the Patriots used Gronk and Aaron Hernandez.
Rest in peace, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, the greatest tight end of all time.
See you later, Aaron Hernandez.
A lot of off the field accolades for Aaron Hernandez.
If that's what you want to call him.
Yup. That's what I'm gonna call him. None of his teammates ever talked about that, did they? They would just stay quiet and they'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like Gronk would be, I think, was asked about that in like in a CBS interview or something, and he just kept saying next question.
Yeah, exactly. We're on to Cincinnati.
Or Seattle.
Cincinnati.
Yep.
Or whatever it was.
Or Denver. How about the Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots?
Fucking picked an awful team to lose to.
Yep. Are they out of the playoff? No, they're still in the playoff race, right? Can they win the division still?
The Broncos?
Yeah, can the Broncos still win their division?
No.
No?
I hope not.
I mean, there'd have to be a severe implosion somehow where they'd have to win out, and because there's like 2 games left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
No,
play a rival,
They
though.
can't.
They play
can't
the
win division.
Chargers.
Who else do they play? What's the other game?
The other game? Not certain. Any Broncos huge experts?
The Broncos play the Raiders. They're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not winning out.
Yeah.
With the way the Raiders are playing.
Yeah. What can the Raiders still win the division?
Who do the Raiders play? The Colts. Yeah, they could win the division,
I
but
like
they
them
would.
in
It
that
would.
matchup.
The only way they'd win the division is if the Chiefs somehow lose to the Chargers. They just need one win.
I mean, after firing Staley, they seem like a completely different team.
True, but
I mean, it's the Chiefs kind of imploded this week.
Right.
Yeah,
It's possible.
As far as possibilities go, that's definitely.
They'd have to lose
something.
both games.
I
The
think
Chiefs
they
would have
can.
to
Who do
lose
the Chiefs
both
play
games.
this week?
It's the Chargers game. Don't worry about this week's game. They play the Bengals.
That's a losable game.
Browning is ass.
And the receivers for the Chiefs are good?
Chiefs defense is still good though.
Yeah, but so are the Bengals.
All they need to do is have Browning throw them the ball, and they can't score.
Yeah, but the Bengals might wind up with a bunch of interceptions because Mahomes can't trust any of his receivers.
I'm picking the Chiefs the next 2 weeks. That's all I'm telling you.
I'm picking the Bengals.
Okay, you do that.
I don't think it's crazy. I can see this implosion happening. Do I think it's 100%? No, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I'm not insane, am I?
So I think there's a case to be made for an implosion and not implosion. Keep in mind who their coach is, Andy Reid. If there's anybody who can stop this implosion in its tracks, Andy Reid's a coach that can definitely do that.
I have them going 10-7.
Then again, maybe that roller coaster just has too much momentum, and maybe it's just a foregone conclusion at this point. I don't know. Well, I mean, this is really a wait and see kind of thing for me.
Yeah, I get that. Right
I
now,
see them, even if they play the Bills, being a first round exit.
I could see that too. Do any of us think there's a chance they don't even make the playoffs?
I say they go 10-7, which means they're in the playoffs automatically.
No, I think they make the playoffs.
I think they make the playoffs.
I think I think they still make the playoffs. Although I do kind of think they could somehow fuck up and lose the division.
The only way they lose the division is if the Raiders win both their next games. And
I think they can.
Both their next games.
I wasn't super bought in on Pierce from the start. I was like, okay, yeah, he beat the Jets and he beat the Giants. Wow, big accomplishment. You did it, guys. But he's got those guys playing hard. I respect that. I definitely think it would be foolish for the Raiders management to move off of him like they did with Bisaccia.
Agreed. The next 2 games for the Raiders are at Indianapolis and playing at home against the Broncos. Those are definitely winnable games.
Winnable games. But if Bisaccia somehow like pulls out that upset, like you gotta hire him without a doubt. Like that's his job.
Yeah.
So what started all of this though? To the Broncos, losing to the Patriots. Is Bill Belichick just winning games now to spite them because he knows he's not going to be there anymore? Like he could have benched Mac Jones at any point before this.
He's had Mac Jones benched for a while.
He has, but I feel like that only happened after it came out that Kraft had decided to move on. Allegedly.
It's funny what happens when you draft Mac Jones.
Did you not like the Mac Jones pick?
No.
Tell me
Some
your
people
vendetta
were-
with Mac.
Some people were saying he should have been drafted sooner. He was one of the better quarterbacks.
I have seen that. I heard he was the most pro ready.
I was never too hot on Mac Jones.
I think Bailey Zappi is his clone.
Well, he's got at least the good parts of Mac Jones, it seems.
True. But Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi are somehow the same quarterback on 2 roster spots. But Zappi is winning. You gotta play with the hot hand.
Absolutely. I mean, even without the winning part, there's no real reason to go back to Mac Jones.
No, I think Mac Jones is a character issue. I don't know if you guys have seen, but when he was struggling, he was yelling at coaching staff. He was yelling at other players. Like, he was just having meltdowns.
I mean, losing will get you frustrated.
It will, but I don't know. If you're going to be the leader, at some point you got to sort of like shoulder some of that. Like, at least
no, for
to
sure.
Mahomes' credit, when this mess all first started, and Kadarius Toney was dropping everything, Mahomes was taking the credit. He was like, "Oh, well, I could have thrown the ball better. I could have done this and that now." And only now, at the end of the season, is it really getting to him. I think that's a good leader. But Jones, he loses it. He's pissed at everybody and everyone, and that's why he'll have a great time in Atlanta.
You should have a fraud tier list on the coming around here
For quarterbacks?
for
or
the
teams?
entire league.
Oh.
wow.
Fraud coaches, fraud teams, fraud quarterbacks, fraud players.
You can look to do that.
Fraud long snappers.
True.
Yeah, we gotta call out the long snappers. But speaking of long snappers, so that kick in the Patriots game, the the doink. Did you guys see that one? The loud one?
I
Anyone
haven't seen
see
that.
that game
I
besides
didn't
We
me?
will
watch
all
this
watch
game.
it together. I will show you.
I was like, I know for a fact I would have seen this besides you.
Oh, it's great. All right, everyone get in here. We gotta see it.
Let me move this over. Remember when
All right, I'm
people
in
were
here.
celebrating 50-yard kicks, and then after they
Yes.
changed the rules for extra points, people would have started missing everything?
Oh, here we go. And that is the sound that it made.
Why is that fast boosted?
No, that's the sound that it made. It just exploded.
I mean, okay, speaking of long snappers, snap a little high, but the punter does a good job of getting it down, and it just
It was. They show it too. Like he corrects it and he gets it good. He just misses. He misses 2 of those this game. And yet the Patriots still find their way to win this one.
Yeah, Denver really shit the bed.
Oh yeah. So that leads me to the question: is Russell Wilson safe?
Safe?
Is he safe?
No.
Does he have a job?
He's never been safe. Sean Payton doesn't like him.
I have seen reportedly he does not. He yells at him a lot. But I mean, he's owed a lot of money. Do you think that that's factored in?
I mean, there's not really anything they can do with him. So he's
What's
safe.
his
but he's
contract
not
length?
It's a while. I'm pulling it up right here, right now. He is owed a lot of money until 2028.
I think that what Denver would like to do is just cut out the cancer as soon as possible. But kind of to your point, he's owed a lot of money, and they kind of can't afford to do that.
Yeah. There's a potential out in 2026, but that is long from now. And even then, the dead cap for that would be $31 million.
The only way they could fix
I mean, if you
Russ
look at
problem.
their team offensively, there's not a lot going on. Not a lot going on.
Mhm.
Cortland Sutton is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean Jerry Judy's all right.
He's ass.
They
Courtney
don't
Sutton's a wide
really
receiver 2.
they
Jerry
don't really
Judy,
have a running game.
Jerry Judy's a wide receiver 3, maybe
He's a wide
4.
receiver 7. I'm a Jerry Judy hater.
Jerry Judy is a jag.
Exactly.
Just a guy.
Yep.
Devontae Williams doesn't run the ball anymore.
Mm.
I think it'd probably be best to try and get Russell Wilson a weapon or two next season, and then
Less expensive.
assess from there. I don't even know.
I don't think they have any money.
No, but
And they're Walmart. They can put things in escrow.
My opinion is blow it up.
All of it. Where do you put Russ?
All of it. Anywhere but Denver.
But how do you get
Wilson
rid of him? Are you
to
gonna
the
cut him?
Jets.
Cut him. If you can get like the sooner you blow it up, and like you just kind of acknowledge, okay, we're gonna be bad for the next few years, the
Yeah.
better.
But even then,
Um,
like the cap hit's virtually the same with Russ on the team and not. So are you just gonna be bad with him then?
With Russ and Sean Payton's contracts, they have no money.
Yeah, that's sort of the issue.
I honestly, I think Russell Wilson has enough upside that you could at least ride with him a little bit.
He's averaging 2 touchdowns a game, if I'm not mistaken. I linked it in here because I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, here it is. This is from some bum ass Bills fan, but it's reliable.
Whoa.
I think he still definitely has enough upside to keep around. If you're not going to have money either way, you might as well keep him around.
That's sort of how I see it, because I think it's more expensive to just get rid of him, because I think all of that dead money hits them almost instantly if they cut him.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be worth it. If you're planning on starting new, that doesn't help.
remember Osweiler's contract? What if they could find just a trade partner for that awful contract?
Bum Osweiler.
That's the issue. Like, who
Yeah.
wants to take that? Russ's cap hit next year is how much money? $17 million. That's a lot of money for a guy you're not sure even still has it.
Yeah.
Although I will say his weapons aren't great, and if he's averaging 2 touchdowns, maybe that's enough to say like, we get another receiver, and that's good enough.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, or that's enough for another team that is in desperate need of a QB.
And that's why he'll
Right,
have
already
a
has
great
a weapon,
time in
too.
Atlanta.
The Saints and Browns will be broke.
Russell Wilson
for
and Mac
generations.
Jones to
Yeah,
Atlanta.
they're in Atlanta
They're
together.
both going to be there together.
Well, Atlanta did beat Indianapolis.
Let's
They
talk
did.
about that. I
You got
want
upset with me with
everyone's
that.
Let's
thoughts.
talk about that.
What do you mean? I picked Atlanta.
I didn't know they were going to start Taylor Heineke again. What happened?
They wanted to win.
Right. But
Arthur
what made
Smith
them
wants to
decide
keep his
that?
job.
When did they
Oh, no.
decide they want to win?
It's the Falcons.
It was a
They still
game
have
time decision.
they still have a chance
Was
to
it?
win the
Okay.
division. I'm pretty. Hold on, let me see.
Do they? I thought they lost that with the loss to the Panthers.
So the Bucks are 8-7. The Falcons are 7-8. The Saints are 7-8. The Falcons' next game is the Colts. Oh no, my bad. That's the last game.
Mhm.
Their next game is. Did I on the bye? No.
No.
Next game is the Bears. and then the Saints.
You think they're
Bucks
beating the
have.
Bears?
I'll tell you the week of. I mean, not
This is the
the
week
day
of.
of. The day of.
Okay.
Bucks play the Saints, and
That should
then
be a good game.
the Bucks play the Panthers next. If they lose both games, the Bucks are out of it. Obviously. Basically either of these teams could win the division still.
But as we said before, the Bucks they're getting hot at the right time. I'm not sure that happens for them.
I said the Bucks are the best because they have the best quarterback situation.
Quarterback in the league.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield MVP.
Yeah.
That's who I want for MVP. Baker Mayfield.
Did you see Terry Bradshaw lit up Arthur Smith
For being an idiot?
for benching Desmond Riddler?
Why would he ever do that?
Why would Bradshaw do that?
Yeah. Why does he like Desmond Ritter and not XFL legend Taylor Heineke? Which, by the way, if I knew he was starting, I would have picked the Falcons.
I'm gonna give you the clip of it. Lord have mercy, this is a long link.
I mean, we can watch it together. Or at least the clip, I mean.
Roll the clip.
Send it to me, and I'll set it up.
I sent it.
Okay.
Why
Yeah,
is playing it so much? It's playing. Hold on. I had 3 instances of this playing, and it was so annoying.
Perfect.
Someone responded, "How much game film has Bradshaw watched? Falcons, as bad as they played, had a shot at winning division, and Ritter has been awful. Go back to sleep, Terry."
Yes. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
You had the soundbite.
I do have the soundbite. All right, here it goes.
Upsets me more than when someone lies to me. All right, I think Desmond Ritter, the third-year guy that drafted in the third round by Atlanta, he was told after week 8, "You're my quarterback the rest of the year. I'm not going to bench you. You're my man." Arthur Smith, the head coach, said, "Not going to bench you." What did he do? Someone upstairs said, "If you don't win out this year, you're going to lose your job, Arthur Smith." And he benched him. So I have no respect for Arthur Smith. Mess with that young quarterback, Desmond Ritter, like that, you set him back. Play the young man, leave him alone, don't lie to him. And he lied to him, and he needs to get his butt whooped. See what trauma does to you? I'm all right, though. He's hanging on.
Yeah, get your ass fired, idiot. Be honest to him, but get your ass fired.
Yeah.
The Falcons would be so good if they could just score points.
I mean, Heineke, he had a touchdown at least, did he not?
I believe so. I think he
Yes, he did.
Yeah. 229 yards.
Yeah.
I
like Taylor Heineke. I think he's a good energy guy, you know? Like, he's not the best. He doesn't have the best arm, but, you know, he gets the players excited. He did the same thing in Washington. Yeah. He's better than Carson Wentz. At getting the people motivated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke, 23 for 33, 229 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
Not an awful game.
No, that's
a solid game.
Yeah,
winning
that's
formula.
pretty solid. I mean, there's a lot to be said for taking care of the ball.
And it looks like they actually used their tools effectively. Bijan Robinson, 12 carries for 72 yards.
Speaking of which, I had a complaint earlier. I forgot to bring it up. Why, for the Jets, why is Trevor Siemian throwing the ball 49 times?
Well, our line is absolutely non-existent. So to get it to anyone of any impact, we have to throw it.
Yeah, but that is just all right. We don't have to talk about it. I'm just.
I mean, like, I agree, but like the line is so bad. What are you gonna do?
Just run the ball.
It's technically an in-game adjustment. Although as we started this though, I'm pretty sure I saw a report. Saleh in a presser today, or some sort of interview, said he expects every one of his coaching staff to be back, including a certain Nate.
That's interesting.
I don't want to go on a rant, so let's move on.
Please do. Wait, if I had the Jets rant last week, why don't you have one?
You can't rant about the Jets every week.
That's
it's not
true.
good.
Would you like to rant about the Panthers since we're still on
No,
this?
I prefer to never talk about the Panthers ever.
Well, we're gonna talk about Green Bay now. So
Maybe if the Panthers win a Super Bowl, I'll talk about them.
only Cam jumped on that ball.
Only Cam jumped on that ball.
The Packers. What about
Yes,
them?
the Green Bay Packers, they squeak out a victory against the dominant, the mighty Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, 2 touchdowns, 312 yards, 23 for 36.
You know, Bryce Young definitely came to play. I don't think the Packers are ready for that.
Yeah, how ass are the Packers defense though? They gave up a perfect game the game prior against the Buccaneers.
The Packers have no secondary.
I mean, like, their DC seems to be way out of his depth though.
They traded one of their best players. I'm pretty sure.
To the Bills.
Yeah. Why? I don't know.
They're in sell mode.
I wouldn't say that. They've kept a good amount of pieces on that team.
Like who?
Jair Alexander, Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, Preston Smith.
I think they're just sort of in the mentality like we're young and we're figuring it out, so we might as well get capital while we can.
I think the Packers don't know what they're doing, and the wins that they got, like they beat Panthers, obviously. Lost to the Giants, beat the Chiefs. Doesn't count. The Chiefs are on a downward spiral after winning the Super Bowl. They beat the Lions, fraudulent team. It's a divisional game. They're the big brothers in the division in the first place, even with Aaron Rodgers gone.
They only went even with the Packers too. Like the Lions won the first one.
Yeah, and the Lions should have won the second one, but Jared Goff is useless.
Right, and we forget about the waning gibbous. The waning gibbous was in effect.
True. They can't deal with external factors like that. It's too much for them.
Yeah, exactly. Dan Campbell can only coach so much.
Can't coach sun and moon cycles.
Exactly.
Lost to the Steelers, barely beat the Chargers, lost to the Vikings, lost to the Broncos, lost to the Raiders. Like, I don't know how they won 7 games this season. They're wishy-washy.
Definitely wishy-washy.
I mean, a lot of people who may or may not be coping like to claim that it's just because the team is young and inexperienced, but they're finding gritty ways to win. And, you know, they point to Aaron Rodgers. He had a similar first year with the Packers. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't do anything. They're still believing in this team, especially Jordan Love.
Their first loss on the season was to the Falcons, where Jordan Love threw 3 touchdowns for 151 yards. And Desmond Shitter threw an interception when Bijan had 124 rushing yards.
Thank you,
Yeah,
BJ.
no, I mean, when their defense actually shows up, they don't even have to play like amazing. When they just show up, and Jordan Love has a decent game, like they're a solid team. They just can't seem to get the defense and Jordan Love together on the same day. You get one or the other usually.
Can't double book.
My thing is their defensive prowess is questionable.
It
'Cause,
definitely is.
good-ish defensive games against the Saints early on in the season, where Derek Carr is Derek Carr.
He was knocked out of that game.
Yeah, he only threw 18 passes that game. Raiders with Jimmy G, so they were already losing that game because Jimmy G was in the game. Russ early on in the season, who didn't get activated until when did they start playing well? I can't remember.
After the
week
Jets
6?
lost, they turned it around.
Yeah. They got outscored by the Steelers, who I think still had Matt Canada at the time. Not sure when he got fired. It was too late, though. They held Brett Ripien, whatever his name is, to
Brett
3
Rippon.
points. Yeah, he held Brett Ripien to 3 points. They held Brett Ripien to 3 points. So don't actually know how good the Rams could have been that game. Yeah, they held the Chiefs to 19 points. The Chiefs don't have an offense. Don't really know how good their defense is, honestly. I mean, they gave up 32 to the Panthers, who can't do
Yeah.
anything.
No, the
Yeah, it's
defense
not
definitely
good.
is the weaker end.
Yeah.
Both sides are weak.
I mean, at least like in some of these games, the defense is letting them down, and the offense is at least like putting up a good fight. Like Jordan Love in the Panthers game had 2 touchdowns. Like that's pretty good, for a lot of games. That's enough to put it away.
For a few of these games, it looks like Jordan Love is their best player, but they're just overall bad and getting away with some of these games. Like they got away with the Waxing Gibbous. They got away with playing the Raiders before they got rid of Jimmy G. And even then, Aiden O'Connell isn't good either, but Antonio Pierce wasn't coaching that game.
Speaking of Pierce, I just saw this because I was pulling up stats to represent what you were saying. Antonio Pierce and Rich Bisaccia have the highest win percentage with the Raiders over the past 25 years.
He should be a head coach.
Antonio Pierce is at 57, Rich Bisaccia 58. They should definitely keep Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
I agree, but that is a small sample size, I think.
It is, but at the same time, like if you're winning, give him a short deal or something. He's an interim. He's never head coached before. You can give him a respectable enough deal.
I agree.
The thing is, the Raiders are in a weird spot because I don't think they can fix their quarterback issue after this season.
Well, continuing to win definitely harms their pick potential.
Yeah, and they can't trade anything away without messing up a year.
Well, what about
development.
Devontae's free real estate.
I mean, why would you not try to keep him?
They should definitely keep him.
You're rebuilding. You want to get a young guy.
But how do you help the quarterback? You're putting him in a Bryce Young situation, Tim.
Not exactly. I mean, they have someone, I'm sure.
No.
They're winning games somehow.
Devontae Adams.
They didn't throw the ball for like the whole second half of the game against the Chiefs.
They're winning games somehow. The Raiders?
Yeah.
Well, it is cut mostly off the defense. They held the Vikings to 3 points.
Yeah, they have Max Crosby. Now's a perfect time to pull up that Max Crosby picture, actually. Let me pull that up for the people.
It is a pretty good one.
Continue.
But Devontae Adams also helps the other receivers by taking all of the attention.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good decoy, but you can get a lot of resources, or you can use a decoy. Like, which one do you think is better for the long term,
I think Devontae Adams is better for the long term for your quarterback's development.
I think so as
Yeah,
well.
but you need to get the quarterback, you know?
That's what I'm saying. They're not in a position to fix their issue.
You need to do something though, and I mean like that's going to be the thing for Pierce is you get a pass with Aiden O'Connell because I mean like he's a rookie and he was drafted in what, the 4th round, something like that. So I mean like there's a lot of leeway given to that. But if you don't find a way to fix that, what? How long is the Jimmy G deal? Can they trade Jimmy G? Would anyone even take Jimmy G?
No.
Who would want Jimmy G?
I don't know.
He got benched and the team got better. Who would take him, Sam? Would the Jets take him? It seems like something they would do.
Maybe the Panthers want him.
Yeah, okay.
When's the last time he played a good game?
The Jimmy G, when he was on the 49ers, maybe the first season.
Yeah, what year was that, Martin?
Like 2020, maybe?
Let's see. Jimmy Garoppolo signed a 3-year, $72.75 million contract with the Raiders.
That's a lot of money for a
When's
backup.
that?
What's the is there an escape in that?
Let's see. Base.
While you look for that, I
There
will
is in
explain to them
2025.
why they can't
Yeah.
fix their team. The only way they can immediately fix their team, which is rushing it, which is not something I agree with, is rushing a fix of your team, is by they can trade Devontae Adams to get a better pick. They can get a quarterback with that, and then see if they can free up some money to sign the Mike Evans of the world that's coming up in free agency.
All those guys there. Pittman, he's also out there in free agency.
Wait,
Pittman's probably affordable.
Getting Mike Evans if you have Devontae Adams, why not just keep Adams?
Well, you get the thing, and maybe you could get a better deal out of him. But I think Pittman, he might be the way to go. Like you trade Adams and you get Pittman.
See, but you have to be able to know
they also
that
have
you can get them.
Jacoby Myers still, who's not bad. Like he's not Devontae Adams, but he's not bad.
I think he benefits a lot from Devontae Adams being there.
He does. But I think if you bring in like Pittman or maybe T. Higgins, someone like that, like you could do something with that. Because I agree with you. Like you're not going far with Aiden O'Connell, but you need to do something.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can do anything because I mean, shit, Devontae Adams barely gets enough to eat during these games, and he's Devontae Adams. Like they're not going to get a better receiver than him, and he still.
But how
has
much of
games
that is QB? You know.
Oh, a lot of it is, but if you can't do anything about the QB, then at least with Devontae Adams, you have a shot of making some plays on the offense. You take that away, and it's like a 50-50 chance you do anything offensively every drive. Like
looking at their draft pick right now, I'd say it's better. Obviously, me and Jordan are on the same page here. Keep Devontae Adams. It's better to just keep Devontae Adams, cut Jimmy G. Don't even let him play on the team another year. Draft.
Do you want to know how much his cap hit is if you do that, or would you do that regardless?
I would do it regardless.
Okay.
Because you're going to draft a quarterback anyway. There is some talent in there you can pick up and hope that they could succeed with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. Well, I don't even know if they can re-sign Josh Jacobs, but there's Jaden McDaniels. Don't know when he's gonna be picked, but he might be picked by New England. Because I don't think they're getting. Well, I think Washington should be in the running for a quarterback still.
Sam Howell.
Don't know.
He's gonna have a really good time in Atlanta.
I don't know who.
Damn, Atlanta is gonna have so many QBs next season.
There's gonna be a lot of Delta Airline deals.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's like 5 quarterbacks that are in the running for being picked in the first round, and I don't know what Arizona, Washington, and New York are going to do. I know for a fact
Did you
what.
put the Giants all the way in 3? You think they're gonna pull that off?
What do you mean in 3?
For the draft, you listed 3 that you don't know. Is that the order that you expect them to be in, or just people you think are in on quarterbacks?
The people who are in on quarterbacks, because before so there's 5 quarterbacks. Chicago has, before the Vegas pick, Green
Vegas is
Bay.
at 13 right now.
Yeah, they're at 13. Green Bay is before them. They could be cool with keeping Jordan Love. New Orleans.
Jordan Love's gonna have a great time in Atlanta.
New Orleans, I don't think can pick up a quarterback.
Sham, is Atlanta the new Detroit?
Oh yeah.
The new Detroit.
Everyone's going to Atlanta.
Everyone's living it up in Atlanta.
Oh, Arizona doesn't necessarily need to take a quarterback, but they could.
It's unknown if
I
they'll
don't.
move off of Kyler or not.
Chargers are definitely don't need a quarterback. They have Justin Herbert.
But he was the problem, I was told.
Jets aren't really in the running to draft a quarterback in the first round. They need help in
no.
other places.
No, O-line, wide receiver, something like that.
So they have a chance to still get a quarterback. They just need to hope.
You've forgotten New
They're
England.
not taking. They got Mac Jones. They don't need a quarterback.
He's going to Atlanta.
Nah, he's getting.
It's already in Atlanta.
Yeah, for all we know.
With the next mysterious head coach of New England,
Brian Dable, coach of the Patriots, Brian Dable. There was a bit that Giants fans were saying that you should fire Dable.
Yeah, those are the dumb people.
They sure are. How do you feel? I actually want to get to this, though. How do you feel about that Eagles game?
I mean, I think it was a good choice to bench the Cutlet. Tyrod Taylor looked all right.
what are your thoughts on the Bears letting Justin Fields go and trying to snag Kirk Cousins from the Vikings?
Patrick, that's a question for you. I feel like that's right up your alley.
The Bears getting rid of Justin Fields and getting Kirk Cousins?
Yep.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Minnesota wants to keep Kirk, and I kind of feel that the Bears want to stick with Justin Fields.
Kirk Cousins is free agent, unrestricted.
He is. You got to pay him a lot of money. Kirk's a shifty guy, though. He uses teams against one another. Back when he left Washington, he used the Jets as leverage.
Is that just a done deal that the Vikings are moving on from him, or are they still going to try to keep him?
It's hard to say.
They're probably going to try to keep him, but they can't do that until he's a free agent. I don't think they can extend him now.
What if the Bears give their first pick to the Vikings to not extend Kirk Cousins?
That would be
a little bit of bribery.
That there's no reason for them to do something so dumb.
That sounds like the Bears front office to me.
That absolutely sounds like the Bears front office.
Yeah, I honestly think like what Merton said kind of at the beginning, Kyler has shown enough to where he should stay with Chicago one more year.
Kyler?
I got confused. I thought he was talking about the Cardinals for a moment. 'Cause you said
No.
Kyler.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Sorry, my
Yeah.
brain. Long day. Anyway.
All good.
Yeah, he's shown me enough. Yeah, Kyler Murray hasn't. He's been injured and hasn't shown me anything. Anyway, yeah, Justin Fields has shown enough, I think, to stay around and given one more year. Obviously, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Vikings are gonna try to keep Kirk Cousins, and if
Kirk
not,
Maybe.
maybe. But yeah, I think Kirk Cousins stays in Minnesota, and I think Justin Fields stays in Chicago.
I think the Bears only need to fix their play calling and give Justin another weapon. Just one. Don't need to go crazy. Just get one more weapon.
That's the Devontae Adams trade partner. There
Oh
it
my
is. And then the Raiders get the first overall pick.
You know how. All right, whatever, sure. But
No, finish the sentence. Finish the sentence.
they get somebody to go on the other side of DJ Moore. Get some play calling where it's not so easy to figure out what it is, and it's easier for receivers to get open, even though it only has one that has hands. And they could win the division off just that alone. But I don't think Kirk Cousins is leaving the Vikings, even if he's going to free agency. I think him and his family love Minnesota. They'll probably just take a more team friendly deal to help out the Vikings.
Could you see the Vikings being interested on trying to like get a young guy then? Like if this theory is to be believed that the Bears believe in Justin Fields still, you probably don't want to keep that first pick. Like that's worth a lot of money and a lot of resources for teams that do
The
want that
Bears?
quarterback. Yeah.
I'd say the only reason to trade down is if the teams who are going to be in front of you don't take Marvin Harrison. Like, you gotta hope the Cardinals are like, we gotta replace Kyler Murphy, or you gotta, because if the Cardinals are free to take a receiver and they're fine with keeping Kyler, you've lost out on a possible target for Justin Fields.
I mean, you can find one later. I've heard that they're good receivers in the class.
That's like saying
Marvin
taking-
Harrison is like on another level. Marvin Harrison Jr.
it's like saying it's fine to pass on Jamar Chase, or it's fine to pass on Justin Jefferson, or it's fine to pass on Tyreek Hill. Like, why would you pass up on the clear-cut best receiver in the draft?
I mean, those players weren't drafted first overall, and some of them weren't even the first wide receiver drafted.
No, but the point is, why put yourself in a position where you could lose the chance to just take him?
Sure.
You don't know what the other teams are going to take. Like,
but there could be a very quarterback hungry team that's like, yo, I'll give you the Panthers deal times 10 if you give me that pick.
All right, so imagine this. Imagine the Bears trade down, but they still want Marvin Harrison, right? They don't want a quarterback, they want Marvin Harrison. They trade down.
You could get Malik Neighbors.
Can I use this
Go.
hypothetical? So they trade down. They somehow fall below the Chargers. Are the Chargers not taking Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Is Marvin Harrison Jr. getting there?
New England needs a quarterback, according to everyone. Washington could take him, but they could also take a few other things. They need a lot. The
Giants could take him.
Giants could definitely take him.
Giants could definitely take him. This is another issue. Giants are the 5th pick right now, and they need either a quarterback or a commitment to helping Tommy Cutlets, and they could do that with Marvin Harrison.
You mean their franchise quarterback Tyrod Taylor?
True. So out of the 7 teams in the top 7 picks, only 4 of them need a quarterback. So why would you just mess with that? I mean, you could. I think the only thing you could do is flip picks with the safest one on here is flipping picks with New England because you could argue that Arizona could take something else, but then still, like I wouldn't give Arizona the chance.
There's a strong chance that it's conditional. If the Bears keep that pick and they take Marvin Harrison Jr., there's a chance that they say, all right, well, we're moving on from Kyler. We're going to take Caleb Williams. Or the Cardinals say, all right, well, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s not there. We like Kyler. Let's trade down.
Yeah, everything is like the teams that are in the top 7 is putting them in a position where they have to either help Justin or move on for Justin. And even if they move on from Justin, they don't have enough to improve on the year they're having right now because they've seen their receivers drop the ball, basically dropping touchdowns, and their defense is young. That they need to improve that still too.
Yeah,
It's like
moving on from Justin Fields doesn't really get you an improvement on your team.
exactly
Not
so
instantly,
Not
anyway.
yeah, not immediately.
yeah, and they can't trade down because it doesn't fix their problem at all. Like you can't if it wasn't for the fact that Arizona could flip flop from a
Well, hold on.
quarterback to a receiver, they could do it.
They could. But to the point that you said before, you said Justin Fields only needs someone who can catch. He doesn't have to be insane. That means they don't really need Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
They
but
need someone who's just capable.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a cheaper upgrade than
Well, you could
Mike
draft
Evans.
someone else. Let's say you trade with Minnesota or you trade with Atlanta. Atlanta just wants all the quarterbacks this year. They're amassing them. Or you trade with
Like
another
Pokemon.
desperate team. Exactly, like Pokemon.
They're going to have their own Nuzlocke with quarterbacks.
But another team, you could trade with Las Vegas. One of those teams, you get into business with them. They trade for the first. You could still get a decent wide receiver at 13 or at 15. Like there's going to be good wide receivers there.
Okay, but in this hypothetical, who are they getting in this trade for the first pick? Are they taking Devontae Adams? Hopefully.
I mean, you probably would have to give up Devontae and extra stuff if you were the Raiders to get the first.
So okay, so there's that, but that's not the only hole, obviously. So
But that does
trading
give the Bears a
down-
receiver, and then you could trade down and you could get someone like Malik Neighbors or the other wide receiver I heard is pretty good, but I'm blanking on his name.
I wouldn't take a third receiver.
No.
If you have DJ Moore and Devontae Adams, I wouldn't take a third receiver.
Fair enough. And then you can invest on the young defense. You could do something for the O-line. Like, you can get a lot of help by trading down, is really what my point is.
To that point, I don't see. I could be wrong here, obviously. I don't see any real game changers in the first round on defense. Like the biggest game changers I see here are Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, and then the rest are picking up an offensive lineman.
What about that generational tight end? Or is that Brock Bowers? Is that his name?
That's Brock
yeah,
Bowers.
that is. Okay.
And then Brock Bowers is not going to fall to the 13th pick. In the mock draft I'm looking at right now, it's saying the Jets get him, and that would be
That would
crazy.
be so retarded. You might as well just fire the whole staff right there if that happens. That would be ridiculous.
Which staff?
The staff
Wanna
that's
hear your
currently there, like Joe Douglas calls in and says our first pick is Brock Bowers. The next call he gets is Woody Johnson saying, "Yo, bum ass, you're fired." Like that's a fireable offense in my opinion. I don't care if he's this generational, like super good tight end. Like you need other things more.
No, tight ends are good. Tight ends are fine.
Yeah, they can block. They can be a part of the O-line. Let's get him.
Yeah.
I don't see Brock Bowers falling the 13th pick either way it goes.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, Chargers, maybe.
He'd go to the Packers, the Saints, the Chargers. Shoot, he could go to the Bears.
But if Bowers is that interesting, that the 9th pick is where he'll go and people will find him generationally, I guess, relevant, then maybe the Jets could trade down and maybe there's O-line pieces a little bit later.
I think the Jets trade up and get Neighbors.
Where do you expect him to go?
7th. It's actually the best fit. Not the best fit, but the best his value would be is around 7.
I mean, you can follow the Jets then. I see the Jets going like wide receiver or offensive line, depending on how it like shakes out.
Yeah, but 3 in this mock draft that I'm looking at, 3 receivers go before it's Jets' turn, and then y'all get Brock Bowers. But I wouldn't personally.
I mean, it all depends what they do in free agency and sign someone who's out there.
I think y'all. It depends on how much draw Aaron Rodgers will bring.
He's hype.
Y'all are printing money. You and the 49ers are printing money. One of y'all could possibly just snag Mike Evans.
Yeah, I see the Jets as a potential landing spot, and then maybe drafting Bowers could make sense.
I mean,
there.
but how much draw does Aaron Rodgers generate, especially
That's
after
what I'm questioning.
He said he's willing to play for 2 or 3 more years.
But does that
but is
matter
his
though?
body willing to play?
Potentially. I mean, like, you need an O-line, which means, like, you draw in the O-line guys. You're like, yo, you want to play with him? You gotta fucking keep him healthy. Don't murder him.
And, you know, there's also the stadium that's not doing his or anybody's tendons any favors.
True, but I mean, like, I say this praying to God up in heaven. Happy birthday yesterday, Jesus. I say this that I really think that might only happen once a season. Like, Rodgers is generally a healthy guy. Like, he takes good care of his body, even though he's 40. Like, he's normally in good health. He hasn't missed a game up until this season since 2017.
He hasn't had to play 17 games on that field.
You wouldn't play 17 games at MetLife regardless, but the point being, I still think he's probably okay into the next season, but you need an O-line to keep him okay. Like, you can't run it with a terrible one again, or else he might get hurt again. He is 40, and 40-year-olds are more prone to injury, but I'd like to believe in my heart of hearts.
He's getting close to the death zone, though. He takes one wrong hit, he might be done.
Brady played until he was 45.
Okay, Brady only got one serious injury that I can think of.
Tore his ACL that one time. But the same can be said for Aaron Rodgers. And Brady played at MetLife twice a year.
Brady was younger, and it was fine for him to sit because the Patriots still won the division, I believe.
No, they didn't.
They were like 10
The Dolphins won the division that year.
Oh, hold on.
Chad Pennington won.
Chad.
My main man, Chad Pennington.
They were close to winning division.
He
They
went to
were, but the
Marshall.
Jets had the same record as them.
Hall of Fame Jets QB Chad Pennington.
He went to Marshall.
In my heart. He did. No, that was the Brett Favre year. I miss Brett Favre. If they kept Brett Favre that year instead of Mark Sanchez, that's a Super Bowl team.
Mark Sanchez just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, they shouldn't have cut Brett Favre. Shouldn't have given him what he wanted. He should have said, all right, listen here, penis pick. You're staying here. You're going to defraud the government here in New York, where you're supposed to.
Yeah, and then maybe he wouldn't have stolen all that money from those poor people.
Yeah, he would have stolen it for some rich people instead.
Yeah,
or at least from like the government in New York.
Yeah, exactly, and they deserve it.
Which, yeah.
But yeah, circling back, Aaron Rodgers has had more bad injuries than Tom Brady.
Sure,
And
but the Patriots
he's
O-line is normally good.
and he's gotten them much later in his career. Well, not much later, but one was at 30, one was at 34, and then one was at 40.
Counterpoint, though, he won 2 MVPs after that injury.
Yeah, but did he have a mobility breaking injury?
Neck.
That's not
That's
mobility.
your neck. You do need your neck to move.
You gotta, yeah, you need that one.
Necks are pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty helpful as well.
it's important. All of that to be said, though, I think he is still a draw as long as like you bring in the right people. Like no more fucking Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard bullshit, and Billy Turner.
Didn't he want Randall Cobb?
He did, and like I'm fine with that if he played all 17 games, but you need to be like more serious about who you're bringing in this time. Like you need to bring guys maybe that Rodgers isn't familiar with, but can seriously win. Like T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, those guys that are out there and can win. You know, because the Jets have played this whole year without a wide receiver too. Brees Hall has basically been the wide receiver too.
He has.
To fix this issue, you'd have to take away the power that Aaron Rodgers is so in love with having, which is not.
I think that's a little bit overblown. As someone who is a Jets fan, I'm a little bit. My ear is to the dirt, so to speak. I think he made requests for guys that he liked, and those guys were also familiar with Hackett's system. So I think Joe Douglas said, all right, you know what? Like, he likes them. They know the system. He can have more people to teach the system here. That's good. The issue being, like, they had to play with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's ass, their ass, everybody's ass together. Like, it just didn't work, you know? So now I think you need to take guys who will be good with anybody this time. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers was sitting on his throne saying, yes, you must bring me Randall Cobb or else I will not play.
Or else I'll get injured.
Yeah, I'll show you. That's why he got hurt, because they didn't get Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
They brought him in like he wanted. He would have kept his ACL in one piece, or not his ACL, his Achilles in one piece. He broke it intentionally. He told that Bills defensive lineman, to tackle him. He was like, yeah, you get me. That'll show him.
Yeah, come hit me.
Take that. Sign OBJ next time, idiots. But yeah, no, I think that the control that Aaron Rodgers has, like, they care about his opinion, I'm sure. Like, he's a veteran Hall of Fame bound quarterback. Like, you want to hear what he has to say. But I don't think he's the guy calling all the shots either.
I wouldn't say all the shots, but I think part of the reason he left the Packers is because they weren't helping him and were listening to him.
Yeah, that's frustrating, but how many years were they not listening to him before he left, you know?
So one of the draws for the Jets, besides their young team, was that they were going to listen to him.
Yeah, I'm sure he understands. Like, Aaron Rodgers is a smart guy. I'm sure he understands that not everything he says will be done. And you could already see that was okay. Like, he was fine with them not signing OBJ. He was fine with them not signing Mercedes Lewis. Like, there were guys on the list we didn't get.
Winning Mercedes Lewis and Nathaniel Hackett are questionable offenses.
Nathaniel Hackett was first before that, which is another reason I don't think like it was all on Aaron Rodgers. I think Nathaniel Hackett said, like, these are guys who are available who know my system. You should bring them in. Although I question what his system is.
His system is take advantage of having a Hall of Fame quarterback at your disposal.
That's a good system.
With a future Hall of
Yeah.
Fame receiver.
Yeah. But all of that is to say, like, this time around, look for guys who have more talent left. More talent left, I should say. Randall Cobb was good once upon a time.
He was pretty good. But yeah, I think the old bug just hit him a bit out of whack.
Yeah, and playing with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, of course. And playing with Zach Wilson definitely doesn't help.
But that is to pose the question to all of you now. What do the Jets do with Zach Wilson?
He's going to have a great time in Atlanta.
Yeah!
I think he is going to have a great time in Atlanta.
What do you think they can get serious draft capital? Mind you, they got a second for Sam Darnold.
Not define serious.
That was a trade with the Panthers. It's not going to happen again.
There are other idiot teams out there besides the Panthers.
I think that
if that was true, other teams would be doing the same heist that they've been doing with the Panthers the last 10 years. Not my bad, not the 10 years. How long has David Tepper been the owner?
What was it, 2018 he took over?
And every trade since 2018 has been retarded.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey. Moving on.
Next episode, I want to go deeper into Tepper.
I would love to. Oh. Yeah, 2018 in May.
Yeah, because of the TOS, I can't say the words that I want to
say. You hope you had a great Christmas.
Just say what you want to say and just add in game.
Then would actually have to edit this out because this is going to Spotify as well.
Oh, true. Yeah, no, a serious offer though to get back to that. A fourth maybe. They get a fourth for Zach Wilson.
I just don't know who would want to trade for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I'm thinking fifth or sixth.
The Raiders.
Well, do you think the Jets would keep Trevor Siemian?
I think they're blowing up that quarterback room sans Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going to sign a real backup like Minshew, Brissett, someone like that.
That was kind of the assumption I had, and to be honest with you, I think Trevor Siemian has more upside than Zach Wilson. So I don't see many teams being like, let's take a shot with this guy. I don't see many teams saying that.
I mean, he has an arm. Yeah, if you give him a literally perfect offensive line, he can throw.
And
I mean, how many teams are going to be able to deliver that?
He
also need a QB.
Did go to school at BYU. He may be more comfortable out west than Las Vegas.
Yeah, it just takes a mad GM or coach that says I can fix him. Maybe it's even a team that has a quarterback. What about the Vikings? They signed Kirk Cousins to that nice deal, and they have him as the number 3, Zach. Their number 2 quarterback went to BYU.
They can talk about Mormonism.
Yeah, exactly. Having their own universes together. Wouldn't that be nice?
In Atlanta.
Yeah, but I mean, not a lot of teams have 3 QBs.
Well, you're allowed to have 3 now due to the emergency rule.
Yeah, but I mean, you definitely don't. I mean, I guess with with someone like Kirk Cousins, maybe you definitely would want a backup. But I don't. I still don't see a lot of teams seeing a need for someone like Zach Wilson.
Well, it
Oh,
would be a
whoa.
reclamation project. You believe that you can fix him and turn him into the superstar he was supposed to be.
He's gonna go to the 49ers and learn under them.
I mean, but there's so many other quarterbacks you could do that with. Why take Zach Wilson?
You see
Because
something in
Zach
him.
Wilson has the best arm talent available.
I think is what's going to end up happening with Zach is I don't think anybody's going to trade for him. I think he's going to end up on a practice squad somewhere, and he's just going to chill in Atlanta.
I don't know if the Jets release him. They might just say, you know what, whatever. You have 1 more year on your deal. We're just gonna sit on you then.
That's another possibility too.
Yeah. Because you got to remember, too, Joe Douglas is like the biggest Zach Wilson truther that exists. He thought he was okay to be QB2 after being run out of town last year.
Yeah.
Well, then
maybe...
that's just a head scratcher then.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of things could happen. Like I said, it just takes one GM or coach to be crazy enough to think like, yeah, I can fix this. And I think a team that would do that is probably one that has a QB who's aging a little bit. So I could see the Vikings being a team that might be interested in him. The Raiders probably wouldn't because they want an answer now. Maybe the Broncos. They have that disgusting deal with the other Wilson. Maybe they're like, all right, we'll get this guy and maybe he can turn into something.
The Lions.
I mean, Sean Payton already hates Nathaniel Hackett. Maybe he's like, all right, I'm going to get another one up on you. I'm going to turn this guy into a success. Yeah, the Lions are another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
I don't see it happening, but
people are crazy. I mean, Jerry Jones traded for Trey Lance just for him to be the third.
True, but I think Trey Lance has more upside than Zach Wilson.
I don't know about that. I didn't like either of them coming out of that draft.
That's I mean, both of them are suspect.
Yeah. There was only one QB I liked out of that draft, and one of us here has him as their quarterback.
I know who you're talking about. He's been getting killed, and he's been not playing well.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I still like him, though.
I have the best quarterback here.
Bryce Young?
Who doesn't trust his...
Yeah, wait, who?
If I had... If I had
receivers that could catch.
If I had Sam's offense with my quarterback, I think...
Which QB?
Who is that,
QB
though?
are you talking about?
You mean? Everyone knows my quarterback, my team.
Patrick Le'Veon Mahomes?
Le'Veon?
What is his name? What is his middle name? Isn't it something like that?
Patrick Mahomes with Breece Hall and
Levon.
Wilson.
Levon.
Yeah, Patrick Levon Mahomes. The second.
You know, Patrick Mahomes' dad played for the Mets.
He did.
Maybe what's happening to the Chiefs is just the Mets curse just extending itself.
Or maybe it's time for Patrick Mahomes to go into the MLB. Maybe
it took all this time to creep its way from New York down to Kansas City.
True.
It's like a cloud. Yes, I completely agree with you. If the Jets offense was on the Chiefs, that would probably be an undefeated team. However, I would definitely trade every single first-round pick the Jets ever get for as long as Patrick Mahomes is on the Jets to trade for Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, Andy Reid, if you're listening, Please.
Why would he do that?
Please. Because please.
That's like saying I'm ready to retire.
I mean, maybe he is. Maybe this year was so bad.
He's just had enough.
Yeah. Free him.
You should get McDonald's because he's McFucking had it.
True. Have we talked about Joe Flacco?
A little bit.
We mentioned elite QB Joe Flacco.
He threw for a lot of yards.
He did.
Yeah.
Also threw 2 picks.
I mean, that's a superpower.
I had to check because Jordan mentioned MLB, and I'm pretty sure that as long as he's under contract, Mahomes is not allowed to play baseball.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. But
He's not allowed to do anything, actually, even though he has a basketball court.
Yeah, no
he
one's
just
allowed to
likes
be.
he likes to look at it.
No one's allowed to be Sanders
Not
playing
anymore.
for the Yankees and the Falcons at the same time.
Or Bo Jackson.
True.
I mean, actually, I think the closest we've gotten is Russell Wilson.
What was Russ
Dude.
playing?
He would play spring training games.
Oh, did he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he played a few for the Yankees. I'm pretty sure he's played a few for a couple of other teams.
Good
But,
for us.
Yeah, love to see it.
Yeah, Deion Sanders and
The
Russell
first-
Wilson, very similar people.
Okay.
NFL careers very similar as well.
Very similar careers. Very true. Lots of Super Bowl
So-
success.
Are you going to lobby for the Jets to draft Travis Hunter?
That is the FSU quarterback, right? Or no? What's the
No.
FSU quarterback's name? Jordan something? Travis something? That guy. That's the one who's on my radar. I know I like him. Travis Hunter. This is the guy who plays both ways, right?
Did you just
That's
look
the
him up?
Yeah, I
cor-
did.
Jordan Travis is the QB
Yes.
from FSU.
Yeah, but Travis Hunter, he's the guy who plays both offense and defense.
On the Buffaloes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, is he actually any good, or is he a beneficiary of...
Whoa, you've watched every Colorado game.
I
Hold up.
haven't. That's so untrue.
So the thing about Travis Hunter is, from what I've seen, he's very good in the first half, and then there's major drop off in the second half because he's just getting gassed. Like he shouldn't be playing both sides. He's just getting worn out.
Okay. Which side is he better on? I see he's listed as a cornerback. Would that be
I mean,
where
he
would
has
play?
talent on both sides, but I would say corner.
I mean, if you limit like the snaps that he's doing it, like I said, I don't watch a lot of college in general. Is he out there on both sides every single play or close to, or
Yeah, like he's out there a lot.
if you
He's
limited, because you have Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed on the Jets, if you limited how much he was playing on one side, would that help?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you his high school scouting report.
Now, granted, what I've seen is still a small sample size, but
True.
in that USC game, and you can see the score, in the first half, Colorado's up 29-0. Second half, they end up losing the game, and Travis Hunter got torched by one guy.
True.
His NFL comparison is Charles Woodson.
Interesting.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, it was alright.
That's a good prospects rating, though. I'm seeing
He was a decent player for the
generational
pressures.
type talent, legitimately a cornerback and wide receiver one. Is he declaring this year?
Yeah, like you could honestly stick him either at corner or wide receiver, and you'd be fine. I'd still say put him at corner.
I mean, with how bad the wide receiver room has been for the Jets, I kind of wanted to see them throw Sauce Gardner out there for a couple of snaps. He played wide receiver in high school.
To answer the question, no, I don't think he is.
Well, keep an eye on him then.
Because this is only his second year in college.
Sauce Gardner at wide receiver and Randall Cobb at quarterback.
Yeah, why not?
Ooh.
We'll get spicy.
Randall Cobb did play some quarterback at Kentucky.
Yeah, he's a left-handed QB, isn't he?
Believe so.
Well, we'll throw him off. That's how we beat the Browns. We just do nonsense the whole game.
I can't wait till the Jets draft Shadir Sanders.
Is he declaring?
He wanted to, but we had this talk before.
Right, but I mean, maybe you've heard new news, but I don't think he should, given how that season ended up going.
No, I was never interested in Colorado.
It's a lot of hype for a team that went 4-8.
Yeah.
Their defense, well, as we just heard from D. Patrick, they can only play for a half, so can't really tell how good they could be.
I mean, you just want to keep improving. From my understanding, Colorado only won one game before last year anyway.
Yes.
I mean, Sanders looks pretty good. The problem is Trevor Hunter can only play for a half. Their offensive line is terrible. Their defense is not consistent.
Their offensive and defensive line is undersized.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of decommits.
That's interesting. Don't they have the highest percentage on transfer portal though? Again, for the second year in a row.
I don't know.
Maybe? I thought they did. Like I said, I'm not a college guy, but I thought I had heard that. I'm gonna choose to believe that's a true fact until proven otherwise.
That's
fair.
You want to believe in?
Yeah, I'm not too big into college either. So
yeah,
That's okay. The only team worth watching was Ohio.
Ohio or Ohio State?
Ohio State.
Agreed.
The other Ohio doesn't exist.
Didn't even know there was one. Just know Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr.
They have a Cotton Bowl Classic coming up in a couple days.
For Ohio State.
Yes.
Good for them.
They play the Missouri Tigers.
Are they any good?
They're ranked 9.
Out of how many?
They're 2 spots below Ohio State.
All right, there you go. Good game. So now, as we wind down here, I would like to get everyone's thoughts. What's a game you are looking forward to this week?
Whoa, a game?
Yeah, Crystal
game.
Legacy.
It sounds like
that
football.
Is a good game. Yeah.
Oh, a video game? Nothing.
No, a football game, but
I thought it was. See, I thought it was video games and sports, and we haven't really gotten to
yeah, we're pretty in it. I know in the off season we'll probably get more into it. It's just like a lot happening. Let's do games. Well, I thought we could wrap that and then go games. Let's just do games.
All right. Well, let me do the football games for clarity. I'll do the football games first. I don't care about any of them, but I might check out the Bears Falcons and Ravens Dolphins game. That's about it.
Ravens Dolphins should be okay for like a half, I think.
And I'll be very interested in the score of the Panthers Jaguars game. Not because I care about the Panthers, but just because I want to see about what's his name? Trevor Lawrence's health.
Be hard.
Trevor Lawrence.
If he's alive.
If they're
I
either
hope that even if like just rest them, like I said
I
earlier.
might as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I said it first.
Honestly, I'm probably looking forward to the Saints Bucks game. Should be good.
I mean that could determine the division.
Yeah,
It
I
could.
think that's going to be a good one to watch. And then Bengals Chiefs. I want to see if Patrick Mahomes can pull his head out of his ass. Get a nice. What is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Get a nice not comeback win, but a recovery
right.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going to watch the Cowboys Lions game, right? Because Shan will be streaming it, right?
What day is that game?
Saturday.
It's not Sunday.
Yeah, I will be then. If it's Saturday, yes. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I will then.
It is.
There's no.
Dallas is at home though, so I expect Dallas to win.
Lions are over 500.
Yeah,
I
but
expect the Lions
they
to
can
win.
beat over 500 teams when they're at home. It's their secret power.
No, the only team they beat that at the time was over 500 was the Seahawks, and we
Yeah,
all know not
at
to
home.
trust the Seahawks. So
Trust the Seahawks to finish 500 again.
What game are you looking forward to, Sam?
yeah,
Great
waiting.
question.
Jets,
Las
Browns.
Vegas, Indianapolis. I want to see the continued success of Pierce.
That's what I'm interested in too.
New England, Buffalo. I'd like to see New England continue to troll and win.
That'd be bad. That'd be bad.
They
for
beat
the Bills.
Buffalo once already.
Ooh, yeah, that would.
I'd like to see a repeat to that.
That would be a demoralizing loss.
It would, and I'd love to see it.
We would. Everyone would love to see it.
The problem is New England could win and still keep their spot.
Yeah, it's fine for them. They should win. And every time that New England does win, the Patriots fans hate it because they want Drake May.
They could still get him.
They could, but will they?
I mean,
Mac Jones is the future.
Future of Atlanta.
The two people above them are Arizona and Washington.
Washington might want a quarterback after Sam Howell's collapse.
I mean, all that would do is kill their next quarterback because they don't have an offensive line.
That's fine.
And a lot of teams that win.
Well, Sam Howell's still under contract for a while. You just throw him out there while you beef up.
But like, look at the Lions. Their quarterback is average, or in my words, mid. And but their line is it is my I started that word. But no, Jared Goff is mid, but offensive line is great. Has two good running backs. Has Amon
Ross St. Brown.
Yes, him. And Laporta, he just has a slew of weapons. They shouldn't lose as many games as they've lost. Actually, well, they
Laporta
shouldn't
might
have
be the
lost
best tight end in the league.
Okay.
He
Moving
should
on.
try dating Taylor Swift instead.
Okay.
I mean, do you disagree?
We missed to talk about the frauds, by the way.
We're not talking about that this week. I don't have a tier list ready.
All right.
We're talking about video games.
The fraud list.
After Patrick tells us what games he likes.
He did that already, didn't he?
He
I
mentioned
thought he
that
was
he liked
first.
one of them. Patrick,
Patrick,
were you
weren't you
first? Am I
first?
crazy?
What?
Did you tell us what games you like this week?
I did mention kind of interjecting into what you said, Vegas
Mhm.
continuing the success against Indianapolis. Not at all, because Indianapolis is a division rival. And other than just hoping the Jags can get right against Carolina, that's about it.
Fair, very fair. I also noticed we didn't talk at all about the Monday night game.
What was that?
Isn't there no Monday night game?
The
Talking about last
Niners
Monday. We did
against the
talk
Ravens.
about
You mean the previous? Okay.
but that was the one I mostly was talking about when I said frauds.
I know you were, but I mean, like, do you want to table it just for that then? I don't have a tier list at this moment.
We don't have time to talk about the fraudulence that happened Monday, I guess.
Probably not. I mean, there was a lot to talk about. I will say, I think beating down on Brock Purdy for one bad game is unfair, and that's all I'll say.
He
I
has
don't
had
think it was
4 bad
necessarily
games.
just a bad game. Like he looked scared after he got sacked. I think it was in the second quarter. Like he
I
looked
would,
scared to get hit anytime anybody on the Ravens got anywhere near him.
I would like it to be clear that Brock Purdy has had 4 bad games this season, and when I say that, I
Not all
mean
of them were bad games.
every game they've lost, he's been bad in.
I mean, you could also point to Shanahan and say he's never won a game when he's losing by 8 into the fourth.
I have a tweet just for that. I posted earlier in here.
Is it the Jimmy G one?
No, it's the one I posted at
Oh, the
6:30
Kirk
p.m.
Benkert. Yeah, I see it. I'm pulling it up.
and it's saying Kyle Shanahan is 0-37 with an 8-point deficit entering the fourth quarter. The Ravens with the fourth quarter lead. Let's see, and then he responded, "They are 100% not built to play from behind." Well, if you think about that, and you think about the quarterbacks they've had in these 0-37 record, they've had Jimmy G, Brock Purdy. I guess Trey Lance counts for some of those games.
Yes.
Sam Darnold is in some of those games, but you can't really put it all on him because I don't think he started any of those games.
I do not believe so.
Maybe I think he maybe started like one game in his time with 49ers. I'm not sure.
He started a preseason game. That was it.
Yeah, so I don't even was Colin Kaepernick there?
I think he was gone by then.
Yeah, so in those 37 games, those are the quarterbacks who are all game managers at best.
At best, I don't think that's really fair. Yeah, I mean Jimmy G certainly is, but Brock Purdy, I don't quite
There's
think
still
so.
tiers to game managing.
Sure, but at the same time, I think the way Shanahan's system is built isn't to come back. Like, it's to have a lead and then like play safe with that lead. Which, I mean, you could
Okay.
argue like you're not doing anything dynamic then. Like you're just being safe and you're getting that one big explosive to take the lead. But at the same time, I don't think necessarily speaking that makes you a game manager just because that's the way that you're playing. Like Purdy doesn't have the best arm, he doesn't have the most elite runs or anything like that. Like he doesn't do anything the best. But would I say that he's only just a game manager or like a yak specialist? I don't think that's fair either.
So, are you saying in the 4 losses the 49ers has that he's played bad in every single one of those losses that it's those are fine?
Fine in what sense? Like losing 4 games, you're allowed to lose 4 games.
Yeah, you're allowed to lose 4 games, but in the way that you've lost these games. Like the first 2 that they lost, he shouldn't have played because I think he got a concussion like the week before or something.
The Browns
Uh,
game that they lost, you could blame inclement weather and trying to come up with a game plan on the fly. Debo and CMC left the game with injuries. It's difficult at the time, but then you go to the Vikings game that they lost. They made some big mistakes there. Purdy threw a pick at the end. That's bad. Then he was concussed in that game. I think he was. And then they rushed him back off of a concussion into the next game against the Bengals. And that wasn't a great game either. With that all said,
yeah, I was going to give him a break for concussion game because I said before with the Trevor Lawrence situation that stop playing quarterbacks even if they're cleared after a concussion, sit them a game or something.
I agree.
But pre or post full healing, either way, if they're not feeling, if the quarterback is not feeling the effects of a concussion and they're playing bad, then that should be counted on as them playing bad and not be forgiven for playing really bad. Like 4 picks to the Ravens defense. Really bad.
One of them wasn't his fault.
Not all of those were his fault.
Still 4 of them though.
Yes. But I mean, like, it depends on how you're doing it, Like, are you throwing it right to the defense, or are you getting your ball tipped and into the hands of someone else? Like, one of them's the defense making an insanely good play. One of them's you sucking dick,
I'll give
And he
you
doesn't
that
turn the
because
ball over a
context
lot
matters.
in general. Like, he's pretty safe with the ball. I'm more willing to give the Ravens defense their accolades and kudos. Like, they turned over a quarterback who doesn't have a lot of turnovers 4 times. That's impressive. That the Ravens defense is elite, and I would never not say that.
I wouldn't say they're not elite either.
Yeah,
something's got to give. You have George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and you threw 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Sam Darnold hopped in and scored a touchdown.
I mean,
McCaffrey was killing them in the run game, but you're down multiple scores.
Yeah, the picks certainly don't help. I think it was a bad game, plain and simple.
I will say by far that was his worst ever game, and it's one game. But like I said, there's the other instances where he's lost them a game because he's thrown the picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of inexperience there. He's good. He'll grow. Only
how many games are they losing though?
Yeah, only 4 bad games is not something to be ashamed of. That's for sure.
Yeah, only 4 bad games. It's your second year, your first year full-time starter. But the context to that context is also the fact that he has an all-world offense with the weapons he has. Not a lot of teams have that. He has, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the league. Do y'all agree that Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we have 4 yeses on that as well.
Yeah, but we just agreed that the Ravens defense is absolutely elite. And I said it before. After he got sacked, he looked scared. Definitely part of the inexperience. He looked lost at times. When he had the time, he still looked good, made good throws. But it was when they got in, he got scared, didn't know what to do. And unfortunately, second year QB, that's going to happen. Like, I don't think he'll make mistakes like he made last night. next year. Like, I don't think that'll happen again.
Yeah, this might be his low point for him, in my opinion. With the way he's been playing and the tools that are around him and the coaching that he has, those are all assets to him. But at the end of the day, you need to send the quarterback out there and have him do it. Like, there's a reason he beat out Trey Lance. There's a reason he beat out Jimmy G. There's a reason he beat out Sam Darnold. Like, he's there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, he still did some good things yesterday, even with those 4 picks. He still didn't look awful the whole game.
Yeah, I wish Zach Wilson only had 4 bad games. I wish Sam Darnold only had 4 bad games. I wish Geno Smith only had 4 bad. Like, I wish I could say that about quarterbacks that I've seen on my own team.
I mean, I'm not saying he isn't the best quarterback they've had since, I don't even know who
Steve
I
Young.
put. No, I want to say Steve Young is before. Or, hold on.
During and after Joe, I think.
Yeah, I was
He
thinking of
backed up
Joe,
Joe,
but
Yeah, and then he had a
replaced Joe.
season. Yeah.
1992. What year is this? 1999. So Steve Young. I mean, I can't not put Kaepernick on the list.
For what?
They went to a Super Bowl with Kaepernick.
And he never reached those heights again. I think he's like the perfect comparison to Kaepernick, though. Like, Kaepernick had a very good season and then nothing. Like, Purdy's been able to continue to produce, even though, like, he had his nice season, they made it to the championship, and then he didn't fall off after that.
I think I can't be completely sure because I don't remember these teams, that this 49ers team is better than a lot of the years that Kaepernick was with the 49ers. Because
They're a very good team, but
I'm
I'd be
pretty
willing to
sure
say if you
in
put
those years they had an often not there Alden Smith because of his problems. Alfonso Smith or no, Alden Smith. I think I was right the first time. Patrick Willis retired early because of injuries. Can't think of who else would be there and gone. Oh, he definitely didn't have the offensive weapons because that are as good, because I think Vernon Davis was a 1-year guy. Like, he was great 1 year.
What?
I'm not sure. Let me see.
Vernon Davis was a fantastic football player.
He was, his numbers are lower than George Kittle's. Let's just say that.
And George Kittle is also a fantastic football player.
I'm just saying George Kittle's better. That's all I'm saying.
Sure, but all of this, I think, is to ignore the elephant in the room. If you put Colin Kaepernick on this Niners team now, is he doing better than Brock Purdy?
Not. I wouldn't say current Colin Kaepernick. No.
I don't think any Colin Kaepernick at any point is doing better.
I think a young Colin Kaepernick would do fine with him.
The Super Bowl season, I will point out, he didn't play that whole season. He came in late.
What season was the Super Bowl season?
What season was that? Was that his first year? Was that 2011?
2011 sounds right.
Because
if it's 2011, he played 3 games.
Hold on.
The Niners were 13-3.
(2013)
Behind Alex Smith?
Yes.
That's not the right season. Because the season he went to the Super Bowl, they were 12-4, and he started all 16 games. Unless I can read,
Hold on. I'm still looking.
because they
Is it
lost to the Ravens
2013?
in 2013,
Okay.
and that's the season they went 12-4, where
Yeah,
he was
okay.
the
I
starter.
was
Yeah, I
asking which
thought
year it was. I didn't
I
know.
thought it was 2013
I didn't remember.
or
Okay.
something around that. I wasn't
'Cause
sure. But he
I
came
was
in.
confused. There was no way he came in his rookie season after only playing 3 games and played
He's
that
just a
Super
crazy
Bowl.
player. What can we say? He's got that Brock Purdy mentality.
And they lost by 3 because what was the power outage?
They were
Super
losing
Bowl?
by a lot before the
Is
power
that the power
outage.
outage game? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the power outage game.
The power outage was the Niners saving grace in that game. They were losing by a lot before that. All of this is to say, though, if you put this Colin Kaepernick on the team, I don't think they're better.
I don't know about that. The NFL 10 years ago was a different game.
Sure, but he doesn't have the
I
same
mean, if you're going to
stats.
use that argument, what's the point of the other argument?
He doesn't have the same completion percentage. He doesn't have a lot of
Okay,
things. He doesn't have the same yards per carry. Like I know that one's a more team dependent thing.
all right.
But
So, okay, is MVP Cam Newton better than current Brock Purdy?
oh, without a doubt, that's a different player though.
No, his completion percentage is lower than Brock's. I'm pretty sure it is.
Sure, but the point that I was making is if we're looking at them for the talents and the way they slot into that team, what is it that we're looking for then? If we put Cam Newton on this current 49ers, like MVP Cam Newton on that team, are they better? Yeah, probably. I don't know if I could say the same about Colin Kaepernick, though. Like, Colin Kaepernick's not ever won MVP.
Yeah, but we are not properly using the context to determine these things, though, in my opinion.
What is the context that you desire most? And I'll try to play from that.
All right, so your original point that I am arguing is that you're saying that young Colin Kaepernick, who when he first started with the 49ers, they went 5-2, and then the next season they went 12-4 with him as full-time starter. Was playing with a lesser 49ers team than the current 49ers team. Could not start for the current 49ers team and still be just as good or better.
That is what I am saying, yes.
And I am disagreeing with that because I believe that during that time, he could be argued as being better. Now, I don't agree with this, but some people have said this, that he could have been argued as being better than Cam Newton during that time. And then I paralleled that by asking, not saying, if MVP Cam is better than Brock Purdy is currently. And then there was an agreement that yes, MVP Cam is better than Brock Purdy. So if a player who was on the same level as MVP Cam, in certain people's opinions,
That's not Colin Kaepernick.
Why
no
not?
year Colin Kaepernick. Cam Newton in his MVP year has a 7.1 touchdown percent ratio, almost 4,000 yards, a completion percentage of 59.8. Colin doesn't have any of those.
I said I said in the middle of that I don't believe Colin Kaepernick was better.
Right. I'm
I
only disagreeing with the point being made. Like, this is the point that you brought to me, and this is my disagreement. Cam Newton, when he was MVP, and I still believe you and I both believe he still has a little bit of something in him. He was special that year, though.
he was special his whole time with the Panthers.
Yeah, but that was like a different level. 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Great play with very little. By the way, too. Like we want to point to the tools the Niners had when Colin Kaepernick was on there. There weren't a whole lot of tools that Cam Newton had his MVP year.
As the biggest defender of Cam Newton, I can tell you, I will always tell you that his years with the Panthers were underrated because they think that he only had one good season, and that was his MVP year. When for multiple years he had only Greg Olsen.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah,
it.
no, he put that entire team on his back.
Yeah. Colin wasn't doing that, and that's really the point that I want to make. Now, to be said, why he falls short to why Brock Purdy falls short to MVP Cam is simply put, I haven't ever seen Brock Purdy put the team on his back either. Does he do well and make plays? Yes, but in those clutch moments, I haven't seen that from him yet.
But that's why I can give him the game changer title. Let's call it title.
Well, how many QBs can we give that to?
Like Cam Newton said, not many.
That's a special distinction. But I think
I disagree with his which quarterbacks he gave that to.
Well,
'Cause
I do
think he
too.
included Josh Allen, which Josh Allen is a game breaker. He either messes his team up or helps his team win.
Hey, that's changing the game.
True. You know what?
is-
He's the number one game changer.
He's like Exodia, but who plays Exodia varies based on which Josh Allen shows up.
But yeah. Also, I think he underrated Tua.
Well, the point that I was going to make is there's a wide margin of existence in QB play between being a manager and being a changer. Like, you can be a very good quarterback and not be a game manager. And you can be a bad quarterback and not be a manager. But you can also be a good quarterback and not be a changer either. Like, you can just be a very strong quarterback.
I think we just have differences of opinion on this. I think there's three. I think you're either a game changer, a game manager, or you're a bum.
Or you're a bum.
Yes. Like, for instance, for Sham in particular, his would be like Aaron Rodgers is a game changer, Zach Wilson is a bum. And
Bum
then
might be
Zach
nice.
Wilson's definitely a bum.
now for me, I'd say the list of game changers in the league would be Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes,
Lamar.
Lamar. Obviously, Lamar has been he wasn't even in the league yet. I was following his career. Lamar.
Yeah, and then you forgot him.
I didn't forget him. Okay.
Oh, so you saw him lose against Kentucky?
Come on, in the college championship game.
Yeah.
The NFL.
It was the Governor's Cup between Kentucky and Louisville his last season.
Yeah, it wasn't Kentucky that I was thinking about. It was because Deshaun Watson didn't go to Kentucky, right?
Who am I thinking of?
Verify facts.
We're talking about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. I'm pretty sure Jackson's last game that I watched, he lost to Deshaun Watson's team.
Deshaun Watson went to Clemson.
That's right. But Lamar Jackson went to Louisville.
Yeah, and I was saying he was the best player on Louisville while Deshaun
That's
Watson's
true.
team was stacked.
Yeah,
But
Lamar's special.
getting back to Lamar is honestly he's underrated.
To circle back to the game that we were talking about in the first place, to talk about the other side of the offense, Lamar Jackson is one of one. You and I both agree he's our favorite
Yes,
quarterback
he
to
is one of
watch.
one.
Yes.
He's better than Michael Vick ever was.
Yeah. But you two other guys, how do you feel?
I mean, yeah, no, I love watching. I love watching the Ravens play. I like just the offense in general is just a fun offense to watch. Uh, and it helps that Lamar can just do about everything on the offense.
Did you see that play where what was that? It was that 30-yard. Was it 30 yards?
The run,
Yeah, the run
Oh
where
yeah.
yeah,
he pointed at Fred Warner. Oh man, he just walks and it looks like he's. I mean, he's running,
That
but it
was his
looks like he's
season high
walking.
run too.
Like it's
38
so
yards.
effortless for him, man.
hmm
One of one. My favorite player. Legitimately my favorite player.
he's one of the
Ever
few
or right
people I'd
now?
like to
He's
see win a Super Bowl.
yeah, he's
I would too.
definitely
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be
different
opposed to the Ravens
special
winning
player.
this year.
I mean, if they end up against the Niners again, it might happen.
I don't know, man.
Also, to
They
talk
can,
about Lamar's record against NFC teams,
it was like 10-1 or something like that.
way better than that.
Uh, this season.
Oh, this season? Yeah, no, but in general, like, he doesn't lose to NFC teams. So if he makes it to the Super Bowl, he's got a very strong chance to just win.
I I don't want to say it'd be better for him to see the 49ers than the Eagles.
I mean, they might learn.
I don't know which would be an easier game for him to win.
I don't think the Eagles make it that far, though. They have too many issues, and I feel like they're making it worse. They have Matt
But
Patricia calling the defense now.
they have had a very bad downward spiral, but I think the only team that keeps them out of the Super Bowl is 49ers. Because everyone in the NFC is bad, in my opinion. I've said this before. Like, a
Yes.
lot of these teams are terrible. There's a lot of fraudulence going around.
There is. The season's definitely not been great. With that all said, I don't know if the Niners are the only ones. They're almost losing to the Giants. Like that, it's a divisional game and all.
They won't
But
see the Giants in the playoffs.
no, they won't. The Giants are
But
eliminated.
they'll just see better teams.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
won't be
that's the
divisional
point.
rivals. You gotta remember the divisional rivals context here. Like the 15-1 Panthers lost to the Falcons that year. That was the only other team they lost to.
They did. Well,
And
they've lost
and
4
during
games.
that,
They
I
lost to the
remember.
Cowboys.
No, I'm talking about Panthers 15-1 season, who they only lost
Oh,
2
okay.
games. And during that season, people were doubting how good the Panthers were because about the competition they faced or whatever. And then when they ran into the Seahawks and the Cardinals in the playoffs, they killed they killed the Seahawks in like the first half. Or how did that game go? They beat the Seahawks, and then they murdered the Cardinals, who people were saying was the better team in the NFC. And then we know what happened after that. But yeah, divisional games are tough. I
Yeah.
think
They are.
the only person who's dominated their division, no problem, would be the Patriots.
Thomas
Last
Edward
Tom
Patrick Brady.
Okay.
Hate
And
that
Patrick
guy.
Mahomes used to dominate his division until like the last 2 years. Joe Burrow being there with the Bengals causes. Well, no, he's not in the division. Yeah, up until this season, Patrick Mahomes dominated that division. Who else? Aaron Rodgers dominated the NFC North. It's very rare someone just completely makes the other teams not look like they belong.
Yeah, I mean, they play you twice. They have a lot of reason to study up on you and learn.
Yeah.
With
Well,
all that
I'm
strangeness.
confused what your argument is, Martin. To be honest with you.
Oh, this was going back to Eagles Giants. Like,
right. But the point is, like, you shouldn't be hanging around with them regardless. Like, you weren't hanging around with them
Yeah.
last year. You
I mean,
like the Eagles annihilated them 3 times.
Let me see. I want to see this season. Just to make sure I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna keep up with the Cowboys, who
How about
blew
them Cowboys?
have annihilated the Giants, you should not be barely winning on a interception to end the game in the end zone. Like that should not. That shouldn't be happening.
Tommy Cutlets and Tyrod Taylor too. Like,
yes,
not that Daniel Jones is any better, but
so you're a Giants fan, correct?
I am.
All right. So, do you recall what happened to the Cowboys last year when they played the Commanders for the final time?
Didn't they lose?
They got blown out,
Yes.
and their starters were
Somehow.
playing. Are you saying the Cowboys should have lost to the Commanders, or is that not another
yeah,
case?
clearly they were not ready. That was a trap game. They got trapped.
The Cowboys are very
that's exactly
good
what
at
happened.
losing trap games.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. That was a trap game, and they fell for it.
But it's just not another case of divisional games.
I mean, partially it is, but I mean, the NFC East has literally always been like that.
I think
Cowboys
most
also
aside,
lost
aside
the
from
Cardinals this year.
Most divisional rivalries, the NFC East is literally notorious for being like the fucking wild west. No matter how good a team is or how bad a team is, they can win on any day.
Rarely does the same team win twice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're going for here, Merton.
I'm saying that it's rare for a team to be able to actually dominate their division consistently.
Yeah.
And
doesn't happen often.
The few teams that have done it are the Patriots, Chiefs, Packers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a special talent, but all of that is also to say, if you're a good team, you should be putting them away regardless. Like, the Cowboys put the Giants away both times pretty convincingly. And I don't think the Cowboys are even the best team in the league right now.
They're not close.
Exactly. The Eagles should not be hanging around with Tommy Cutlets and Tyrod Taylor for 60 minutes, is the point.
I can't bring this up, can I?
What do you think, Patrick?
I think I have work in the morning.
True.
All right, closing bit for that. So another instance of the divisions. Going back to the 15-1 Panthers team. Do you know what the record for the Falcons were before they beat the
They were undefeated, weren't they?
No, the Falcons, not the Panthers.
Oh, okay.
The Panthers were undefeated, yes.
Yeah.
The Falcons, before they won that game, were let's see, was that the final game of the season? No. They were. It's so hard to see this because it doesn't show it. This is not the right season.
All right, you find that. Let me. What did I want to pull up?
Why is this the wrong season? Oh, here we go. Oh, it doesn't go back to 2015.
That's interesting. All right, well, while you find that, did you know that the entirety of GTA 5 source code was leaked?
I did hear about that. I didn't look into it further though.
Yeah,
Apparently, it was on a
I've
Discord
seen it.
server.
Everything is getting leaked in Discord servers.
That or what was it, World of Tanks or whatever?
Yeah,
that
World
leaked
of
classified
Tanks.
documents.
That one's like, that's honestly a meme at this point. There was, of course, what was it that got leaked in that Minecraft server?
That was like NSA documents or something.
That's right.
Yeah, things leak. Funny.
Yeah, often, actually.
Most recent one I think was like the Bradley fighting vehicle.
I did see that too. People leak things to get out there.
So the Panthers were 14-0, I think, and they were 14-0, and the Falcons were 6-7. Hold on. No, they were 7-7. Panthers were 15-0.
And your desired point is
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
that the Eagles are good.
Where are you going, Merton?
As we say in the finance industry, please advise.
So
I think we all agreed that it's difficult to just run a division. I think we were all in agreement there.
all right, never mind. Just move on.
I think what we're saying is we need to put the Cardinals back into the NFC East.
Oh no! Why?
That'll make it entertaining.
And then to replace them with who?
No, just 5 teams in the NFC East
It's
again.
just 5 teams. All right, hey,
it's a good plan.
We should put the Ravens in the AFC East.
Yeah,
they should just make a division of all birds.
they should. I think that's an off-season topic I want, but I want to restructure all the divisions.
And all cats.
Yeah.
Yep.
All birds, all cats, all
cats and the various other animals. Because there's only three cats.
Bengals, Jags, Panthers,
Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, this is...
That's fair.
All right, that'll work.
Detroit's real mascot is Dan Campbell.
Or were we only going to talk about the GTA 5 source code?
I mean, what do you got? Raul Menendez, his voice actor, passed away right as they announced that they're making a sequel to Black Ops 2.
Josefina.
You suffer with me.
Oh, there isn't anything in here.
Yeah, we gotta find the things. That's the real thing about like talking about games. Like, 1, it's not the off season, so we don't have to rely on them as much. 2, we need to find the things.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that I've seen that I can't remember what they were.
All right, I'm counting on you. Next week is the gaming episode. Then I'm counting on you.
Oh, are we gonna actually talk about games next week?
Yeah, next week is the gaming episode.
All right, I guess I'll keep track of them then this
All right,
time
I want to see it. We're gonna get it next
because
week. We're coming out swinging.
I knew we were gonna talk about the NFL for 3 hours, so I just ignored them.
Lot to talk about. Yeah, no, and like I said, in the off season, it'll be way easier because less will happen.
Starfield is trending right now. Let me see if there's anything. This
Do you guys
take
know
a
that
peek
Peter
at.
Griffin is in Fortnite?
Yes.
Very old news.
I mean, everything's in Fortnite.
It is.
Master Chief is in Fortnite.
I think Patrick Mahomes is in Fortnite.
Oh, another week of no Lethal Company. We can talk about that as well.
What
We'll
is
talk
that?
about that.
Lewis Hamilton is in Fortnite.
There's people playing mods of this game,
Of what game?
Lethal Company.
You can be a
Yeah, you
great
can hire
asset to
him
the company.
I mean, we could all play it at some point. Maybe for
We
the
can all
gaming
be great
episode.
assets.
Yeah, I love a good
For-
asset, like a tight end.
For the gaming episode, we play a game.
I mean, probably not for during the podcast, but we could play a game. That would be
Have
wise.
the game playing in the background.
Maybe. You never know. All right. Final thoughts, Patrick. Go.
2023 was one of the years of all time. I'm looking forward to 2024.
Anyone interested in playing the Tekken 8 demo?
Sports.
Okay.
Is that your final thought?
Sports.
Good. Tekken 8 potentially. When is that even?
The demo's out now.
Okay, great.
For how long or if it's permanent?
I'll have to get back to you.
Tekken 8's going to be in permanent beta or demo.
I don't know.
Like a live service game.
Just so you know, I don't know if the demo is crossplay.
We'll have to look into that then. All right, Murray, final
okay.
thoughts.
It actually is crossplay. But
Good.
I don't know if the demo is full game fit to be.
Final thoughts.
The Lions are frauds. The 49ers are frauds.
Oof.
What team isn't a fraud?
Sounds like the
Lamar
Ravens.
Jackson.
Oh, just
no,
Lamar.
Not the Ravens. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, not a fraud.
Confirmed.
The Eagles are frauds. The Cowboys are frauds. The Dolphins are frauds.
How would you feel if the Dolphins beat the Ravens?
Where would
I
they
don't
be
expect
doing
it to happen, but how would you feel?
that? If the Dolphins beat Lamar Jackson, I'd say Lamar didn't have enough help.
There's 20
Tyreek doesn't.
other starters.
Tyreek Hill doesn't deserve another Super Bowl after all the tweets he's been tweeting this year, and what he did to his wife by cheating on her with
With
3
like
other people.
4 other women. We didn't even talk about all the babies that he has, did we?
I didn't
No.
even know about this.
Yeah, he's got like
But I
4
know.
babies with 4 different women.
Yeah, I told him. I posted it somewhere. That he has like 4 babies from 4 women.
He's living the Miami lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what they do down there. Of course. But they better watch out. They might still lose the division to the Bills.
It's possible.
It is possible.
Gotta watch the
Tyreek needs
implosion.
to keep his head in the game. Not
And
that
not
shit.
another women.
Does.
Metro Boomin tweeted, "Can't finish the Pluto album until I beat Spider-Man first." He just started playing it.
Spooderman?
Has anyone played Spider-Man 2? I haven't.
I haven't.
I have not.
I
Played the
don't
first one.
know if I'll get there anytime soon because the person who's supposed to buy it, not me, hasn't bought it.
Because you don't buy games.
I don't buy games I don't want.
That's a good way to live. All right.
If you
My
don't want
final
it,
thought time.
All right, you know what? I'm not going there.
Joe
I
Flacco is an elite quarterback.
Is
Joe
he though?
Flacco for MVP.
Yeah, Joe Flacco for MVP.
Those are my final thoughts.
True.
Whoa.
And in Zach
Yeah,
Wilson, we
whoa.
trust.
Lamar Jackson for MVP.
No,
Joe
Joe
Flacco
Flacco is gonna get his
MVP.
revenge.
Okay.
He's gonna come in. Is that a home or an away game that they're playing? Hold on.
It doesn't matter. Joe Flacco's gonna go absolutely nutty.
Yeah, any location. It could be on the moon, and Joe Flacco is gonna go insane. The Bengals is at the Bengals. He's gonna go in there to the Bengals. He's gonna give them what for. He's gonna win the division somehow.
He's gonna go in there, say, "Hey, you motherfuckers, remember me?" And then go nuts.
I was here a couple of years ago in purple.
Sam, do you know who Clugsy is?
I do not. Who is that?
Tim Nick Mark's Dr. Disrespect's friend that plays
Clugsy?
Warzone with. Yeah. He sometimes
so-
goes by Clock, Turtle, disabled person mentally.
Oh, Whips.
No.
That wasn't me calling Whips disabled, by the way. Is he like a Whips or?
No. He was
No.
in Cloaks. He was in Phase. Was he not?
Oh, okay. Is he the one with all the tattoos?
No, he doesn't have tattoos. He just streams COD all the time.
He might still be in Phase.
Does Face still exist? I thought they were bankrupt.
Yeah, they still
Definitely
exist.
not. They just signed. Well, I want to say just, but they've recently signed some talent.
Faze's stock is worth 19 cents.
He says he has an 8.9 KD. I was asking because I had a specific question in mind to ask you. Do you know what input he plays on? But I'm looking. He plays on PC. So
Is it mouse and keyboard?
he plays. I when I said it, I meant it in a way as in he plays on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I figured you were going to say that. No, aim assist is broken. Just because a good player exists doesn't mean it's not broken.
It's not broken. It needs to be buffed.
No, absolutely.
Either it needs to be buffed, or we all admit that I'm trash at Call of Duty.
That's okay. Me too. All right, we're wrapping it. Everyone say goodbye.
Have a
Bye.
lovely night.
Good night.
Yeah, sports.
Use condom. Use protection before.
Yeah, don't be like Tyreek Hill.
Here's some wise words I learned from my coworker. Never leave your friend at the airport.
What?
That's it. That's what he said.
Like,
That's
that,
a
like
wrap.
an analogy for like semen.
Nope.
Who's gonna
Nope,
have
it
more
was
kids?
literal.
Xavier Howard or Tyreek Hill?
Nick Cannon.
True. All right, good night, everybody.
Wow.
Good night.